Kooshmoose returns home for the winter. Contests and Patreon giveaways are drawn. An on-air scolding in the Discord. And lots of extra segments. This is going to be a long show, so buckle up. This is Achievement Hunting 101. Hello and welcome to Achievement Hunting 101. I'm FufuCuddilyPoof and thank you for listening. This is level 80. Joining me today is Corey. What's up, buddy?
Hello, boys and girls.
L.
Hello, girls and boys.
And Nate is off in some winter hellish landscape known as Canada. So taking his place is Michelle. How's it going?
That's good. Hello, everyone else. And how are you, Kenny?
I'm doing much better this week. Who cares about you? Jeez.
You left us high and dry, and now we're supposed to care about you?
Maybe. It was for good reason. I didn't just bail on you for no real reason.
You got a manicure. That really wasn't a good reason.
Don't tell them that.
I could see it on
supposed to know.
I could see the pink on your hands right now. Ooh. Sparkly. Bedazzled, too.
So I should say that this is the very first show that's recorded in front of a live studio audience. Say hi, Brooke. Hi. I have no idea if the microphone picked that up.
It did, and she missed the joke. We'll say hi, Brooke.
She did.
She missed it.
If she was...
Close enough.
Maybe next time.
She married Kenny. How bright could she be? Come on.
Yeah, wait, what?
There you go.
All right, let's get this show on the road. Elle, what have you been doing this week?
What do you think I've been doing? RTD Ellen.
Of course.
My name's in there. L.
In.
Ellen.
Degenerate.
Ellen.
Degenerous?
I think he said degenerate. I don't think he likes her.
It was a bad joke.
That was Kenny's favorite commercial, the Ellen commercial.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just about to say she had a really good commercial in the Super Bowl.
She didn't.
Should we go into this? That was not the best commercial.
Charlie Day.
It wasn't the best commercial. I thought
that
it
was not
funny.
the best commercial either.
What did you think was the best commercial?
I wonder
I don't know
what
if I have a best, but I do have one that I really liked.
It's one of the ones with... it's either the one with Jim or Dwight in it.
You know what? The Jim one was very funny about parking the car. Right? Is that how you say it?
Oh,
Close
that's who that was.
Yes.
You look familiar.
Captain America and some washed-up comedian lady.
I bet you don't know who the chick is. Yeah, washed-up comedian
Washed-up comedian lady.
That's exactly
correct.
correct.
She was.
But, that's Rachel,
I did
Rachel
enjoy...
Dratch. Quiet. It's Rachel Dratch.
Sure.
She was on SNL.
I did enjoy the I forget his name, the Aquaman commercial where he took off his arms.
Jason Momoa.
Yeah, Jason Mimosa. Yeah, him.
No.
That was pretty funny.
Oh, that was great. That was
and then, of course, Baby Nut. Hashtag Baby Nut. Baby Peanut.
No.
Why did the peanut sound like a dolphin?
There's probably some deep lore that we don't know about in the Mr. Peanut life, but...
I like the Doritos Cool Ranch commercial. Doritos always comes up with commercials that entertain me for whatever reason.
Which one? Oh, the one with
They're doing
the
some
cowboy dance-off.
Like leg dance, yeah.
Which
I
one?
like the first part when his mustache did like the wave.
Right, that was the best part, was the mustache doing the wave.
No, the Rick and Morty is my favorite, I think. The Rick and Morty Pringles.
I'm trying to think. I don't think there was any other big ones. It's kind of
when it comes down to the Tide one.
Did they not do like Clydesdale
the
stuff
avocado
this year?
commercial was good. No Clydesdales.
I saw something on Twitter about the avocado commercial saying it was like, that is the quintessential white person commercial.
All right, now I got to look this up because I went to the bathroom when that one was on, so it's like the only commercial I didn't see.
Kenny's the whitest person
Disney
I know.
Plus one was after that.
I'm surprised you didn't say anything about your boy Ric Flair and his hummus.
Woo! That was a surprise.
So
yeah,
we're good with the football chatter?
For now, at least.
I mean, good game. I actually enjoyed the Super Bowl game more than the commercials. I thought the game itself was good.
It was a good game. Chiefs won. 49ers suck.
As soon as the Chiefs went down by 10, they sealed their victory.
And what kind of jokes are you guys going to do for the next 4 or 5 months?
You think I can't say Patriots suck every week regardless?
Or just make fun of other Boston area sports teams.
Guess you could try.
You'd say Mets suck. I mean, that kind of goes without saying,
That's
but
not a joke, it's the truth. In order for it to be funny, it has to not be true. But what about video games? Isn't that what we're here to talk about?
Anybody
Our
play
week in
Madden?
Xbox? No one plays Madden. Although Mahomes, no more Madden curse, I guess. Even though he dislocated his knee this year and sprained his ankle. But hey, he won a Super Bowl and got the MVP and he's going to Disney World and all that good stuff.
So the only thing stronger than the Madden curse is the Drake curse, because he was rooting for the 49ers.
Ooh.
So, sometime last month, I came home and I was very tired, and I wanted to get a quick achievement streak extender, so I booted up a Ratalaika game super weekend mode, popped a quick achievement. Kenny, be quiet. I see you watching The Bachelor over there. Just stop it.
Absolutely not.
I see it, and now I'm trying to see what's happening in the background. What, they still do that rose gimmick? Wow. So I
Don't
got
focus on that.
an achievement or two, and then the next day Chip messages me. He says, "You didn't complete Super Weekend mode? What's wrong with you? You suck." So
No.
He's got a point.
Well, which Ratalaika is Super Weekend mode again? I forget which ones are which at this point.
I know they're all the same.
How
So
dare you?
so this is
Well, they're 99% the same, and then Iron Snout.
Iron Snout. Get it
Oh,
right.
gosh.
But which one is
It's
this
the
one?
Pig of the Year. This is the one where you have the two paddles on the left and right, and they go left and right, and these things fall from the sky, and you have to collect them. They're hearts, and you shoot up at this boss, and you try to kill the boss, and that's it. And there's some nifty chip tunes playing in the background, and
As much
it's
as
really
I'm
hard to
typically
explain with this game.
as much as I'm typically on board with you about playing with the music up, I don't know that I ever do that with Ratalaika games.
What?
I know.
I really
Sorry to interrupt your thought, but
I actually really enjoyed the music in this game.
okay, well that's a positive. Maybe it would have a 2.2 rating on TA instead of a 2.0 if people listen to the music more.
Wow. You're looking at
2.0, that's way too
you're
high.
looking at the ratings.
I was just trying to loop this all back into something. You know how it is with Ratalaika games. They're not being rated on their gameplay
Shoot 'em
even
up.
a little bit.
Weird. Weird designation, but I guess it's not wrong.
I mean, what else would you put it as?
Vehicular combat. So, anyway, there was one thing I didn't know until I looked it up, which was you have to crash into bunnies. So the hearts fall down at you, and you get those. But the bunnies, when you hit them, you're like, "What? I died!" But you have to get out of the way and then crash into them. And once you figure that out, you're home free. So this is a notable game that people have beaten 8 minutes, 10 minutes. Let's see how long it took me. Probably from 2:14 to 2:27, so 13 minutes. Okay. Yeah, fun. Yeah, so the way for those who don't know, I do enjoy the occasional Ratalaika. So what I do is I add them all to my game collection, and then I play whichever ones show up on random to-do list and try to bang it out. So this one is complete.
I mean,
and
it's
I'm
hard
so
not to complete.
happy.
It's so easy.
I really enjoy that last achievement. My hands are tired. And the description says, play with the maximum level of difficulty. Yeah, lots of bad spelling. It's bad.
That seems to be a theme with the Ratalaika games. There's lots of grammar issues and whatnot in that.
I mean, I understand if your English is not your first language, but there's got to be plenty of people willing to edit basic sentences for you. You would think, anyway.
You would think.
Think of their
I imagine
timetable, man. They got to release stuff every week. You don't got time for spell check.
Exactly. I imagine this is not their concern.
I guess
Throw
You're
in
not.
going
those
to buy it
achievements,
anyways.
I
Get a
guess
bunch
not.
of people to buy it at $5 a pop. And it becomes a talking point for us, so keep those spelling errors coming.
Yeah, I can't believe this is 2 stars. I think that's like 2 stars too many. Maybe even 3 too many.
Maybe. All right, you go ahead. I could talk about these wonderful games I've been playing all day, but someone else should talk.
Go ahead, Corey.
So, in anticipation for Ori and the Will of the Wisps, I want to complete one of the 3 stacks of Ori that I have access to, that I've bought. And the only one that I have barely played, it was just a dive, in fact, was the Xbox One Definitive Edition. I beat the original game. I beat the Nintendo Switch version, so this one had the most opportunity for Gamerscore, for TA. And so I started back at it this week. And so the hopes is that I'm going to complete this game 100% before Will of the Wisp, which comes out in mid-March. So I got a little over a month to get through it. If you haven't played Ori, we've talked it up more than enough times that you should at least look at it and try it out. It does have some difficulty to it. You do have to beat the game multiple times. Well, I can't remember if you... Actually, yeah, you do have to beat the game multiple times. I was wondering if you could combine the runs, which you can combine some of the achievements, but not all of them. So I'll just go over quickly the in-game achievements. You do have to beat the game just normally. Well, maybe you don't. I guess you don't.
It's probably advisable if you've never played the game before to just play through it normally and get a sense of it before doing any of the other runs, because you have to do multiple runs anyway.
Yeah.
So just allow yourself to enjoy one playthrough normally. But yeah, I think you can, especially since you've played the other versions, you can mix them in such a way that you're not doing just a normal run through.
Yeah, so I think I know what I was going for by that. So for achievements specifically, you have to beat the game on hard difficulty. You have to complete the whole game without upgrading any ability or skills, the skill tree. You have to beat the game in under 3 hours, complete the whole game without dying, and complete the game on 1 life difficulty. So obviously, if you combine 1 life difficulty and complete the whole game without dying, that's an easy combination there. The other one is your hard difficulty. That should be, it's from the walkthrough, that should just kind of be like maybe your second playthrough. And your first playthrough, especially if you never played it before, play it on an easier difficulty, probably even easy. I don't think normal. I'd have to look and see if there's a recommendation to play on normal or not, because you can, the walkthrough recommends going for completing the game without upgrading anything and doing the under 3 hour run simultaneously. You can manipulate saves and copy saves in order to beat the game, but have a save point a little bit back, because there is a point of no return, I believe.
Yeah, there is.
And so that's the one you're going to want to go back to after you beat it in 3 hours. 100% your map, get all the ability orbs and stuff so you can fully upgrade, because you have to upgrade all 3 of the skill trees individually. So optimally, I think that 3 runs is what you're looking at. I started trying to do the under 3 hour run first without an ability point, and then I accidentally upgraded without thinking about it. It just kind of like,
no.
upgrades available. So I'm about a little bit over an hour into that run. I think I'm going to kill it and start it again. One thing about this game is that you pick the save points, except for certain events that happen in the game where it automatically saves. Those are few and far between, but one of those did happen to me, so I wasn't able to go back to before that. So I think I'm just going to cut my losses there and just start fresh.
Now, I have a question for you. I have played the standard version of Ori, but not the definitive edition. I don't recall 1 life mode being
I do believe that
thing.
Is that's one of the added things. The definitive edition has 1250 gamer score, so there is some extra achievements in there.
And I guess that's just what it sounds like beat the game without dying, essentially. But there is an undying. So is there something different about that?
Yeah. So the original Ori does have a complete the game without dying. So for that one and probably with this other one, I think that you can cheese it with some save stuff. But this one life mode, if you die, it erases your file. You go back to the beginning.
Oh.
So it's a little bit more
okay.
hardcore. Where this one, obviously, if you die, you could probably, hit your backup save and go, but you'd have to be a little bit more careful with one life mode.
Okay.
So yeah, so fingers crossed, I can knock that out. It'll be, it's one of the longer games I'm trying to do while doing G-Task. If I can get some of those in-game ones, then it will work out to my advantage. It is play anywhere, so I am taking advantage of doing that so I can actually get some playtime in at work, because it actually runs on my Surface. A little barely. I keep the window pretty small, but I can still platform fairly well with it. So, yep. That's what I'm working on for probably the next month, as I can.
I didn't realize Ori can be completed so quickly. There's a 3-hour one.
Yeah,
I was
obviously
thinking this was
you
a
skip.
longer game.
Well, it is a longer game if you're going to 100% it, just like pretty much any Metroidvania. I don't know if there's any any big skips in the game like a lot of bigger Metroidvanias, but you could probably definitely skip some sections of it just because you don't need to go there for this run.
That makes more sense.
Also crazy to me to do one where you don't upgrade abilities because, at least in my opinion, Ori is one of the more difficult banners. I'm not saying that it's super, super difficult, but it's it can test your patience at time, and upgrading skills includes things like the amount of times you can save, or because saving is tied to one of your attributes and
your energy.
So I can't even imagine that being so restricted, because especially in the last stretch of the game, like I was saving constantly and like just trying to farm like those points wherever I could. So that just strikes me as like, I hope it's still fun playing that way. Did you try that on the regular editions at all, or is this going to be your first time trying it that way?
No, this will be the first time. So I've played the game twice all the way through, and those have just been like, casually play through it and get through it. It took me a long time. I didn't even do it in one sitting for the first game, but when it came out on the Switch this past year, I kind of just like focused on it, and like it has some really good stuff, especially towards the end. The platforming gets really more complex, so I'm a little worried about that, but so far it hasn't been too bad. I just checked the walkthrough, and they do recommend that first playthrough that you can do it on easy difficulty, so that helps. But yeah, not upgrading is kind of weird to do. It's not my preferred method in games when it's sitting there like blinking at you, upgrade me.
Right. You just want to dismiss the notification.
Right.
Oh, I would have to do that. Notifications like that drive me nuts.
But yeah, I'm already hyped for Will of the Wisps, and this is just gonna ride me through the next month.
Will of the Wisps. I can't say that. Wow. Will of the Wisps has a lot of hype behind it.
I don't know if a lot of hype's the right phrase, but I mean, the people who played the first one, I think, are probably excited for the second one. And Game Pass, really helps because we're not going to have to, spend extra cash to play it.
Which is always best.
I don't know if necessarily the hype factor is high, but the expectations definitely are.
That might be
the game seems to have had a fair amount of development time. It's been pushed back a little bit to allow for the product to be a little further polished. So, and there's a good pedigree there because we've already seen the first Ori. So I think the bar is pretty high. But I'm confident they'll live up to it because the bar was high for, like, Ori didn't come out of nowhere. It was a pretty anticipated game when it released the first time, and it hit those marks.
See, I knew nothing of it, and then it's like, it kind of was in a point in the beginning where there wasn't a ton of games. Before I kind of got real back into achievement hunting and found Z2Z, it was just I was kind of buying the Microsoft first parties just to kind of support it. And like I said, I didn't even play it that much until more recently to go back and finish it during the year of the Vayners, and found my new love.
Am I your old love?
You are old.
Aww. Ah, Sunny. Oh, I forgot to mention a couple of things about Super Weekend Mode. So, do you want to take a guessing game on whether I kept going?
No.
I'm going to say you did.
Okay.
Because you read off your times earlier.
I'm going to say you did because you bothered to bring it up.
Oh, interesting. Well, I tend to do this for the right of light because, yes, I kept going to stage 4 and died pretty much immediately and then stopped. So that was but there was one funny thing I just noticed that for the time estimates, there's like 20 people that marked it off as 2 to 3 hour completions. So I thought that was
2 to
good.
3. I took 20 minutes.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting.
I'm usually bad at those old crappy games like that.
Even Kenny did it.
I may have been slightly longer.
Yeah, the
That's
third
what she
level
said.
was a little difficult once you figure it out.
Well, I didn't remember playing the game, but my timestamps tell me it took 11 minutes.
Wow.
All right, you win.
Yay. What do I win?
You still don't remember playing it?
You win.
You get to go next.
Exactly.
What have you played?
Oh, nice. So I haven't recorded with the panel in a little bit. And normally when I haven't recorded with the panel in a little bit, I feel like I have all these games to talk about. And what am I going to talk about? But I was actually pretty focused in the month of January and actually only started one new game throughout the whole month and earned less than 100 achievements throughout the whole month. A combination of being out of G-Task and working on different goals for the year. So I'm pretty proud of myself, but that means you have a little less content to dial into. Most of what I've been playing lately is Burnout Paradise Remastered. For those of you involved in Better Completions Matter, which I imagine we'll probably touch on at some point because of contests, but if not, I'll touch on it here. This month's challenge is the February Lovebirds Challenge, and so everyone participating in Better Completions Matter was matched up with a random partner, and you and your partner are now tasked with completing the same games throughout the month of February for a bonus. So many of us reached out to our partners one way or the other. I know, Elle, you are partnered with fellow Discordian High Road Fufu, and you've spoken a little bit. You're not participating in this, right, Kenny?
No, I didn't sign up this year.
And are you participating, Corey?
I am, yep.
You are. Who's your partner?
Fury 87, something like that.
Okay. And my partner is Sabin Rothschild. So we...
You got a Rothschild, wow.
Yeah. We reached out to each other and we picked 3 games we're going to work on during the month. And one of the 3 games we picked is Burnout Paradise Remastered because he's very close to finishing it. He just has to do the 250 online challenges. And I still have to do a ton of the offline stuff. So it's actually been great because I legit love Burnout Paradise and loved the 360 version, but never sat down to complete it. Right now I am, according to the in-game percentage, 90% through the game and have 70 hours sunk into it. So I'm hoping that February will produce this completion. Otherwise, I played Heinrich with Elle. That was the one game I started in January. I know Elle obviously has played Heinrich. Did either of you two play Heinrich?
I have
I'm new.
Okay. So Heinrich on its face seems like it would be a plenty good game to play with the family sitting around. There are words across the bottom of the screen, and as you're walking across the words, some of them you can press Y over, and whatever that word is will happen. So if the word is soil and you press Y, your character will now have soil. And then you may have to put the soil by fertilizer and then make it rain, and you do all this by accessing those words. But the game is incredibly gory. Right, Elle, we've talked about this.
Wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, it's black and white in its presentation. The only other color is blue occasionally for water, yellow occasionally if there's thunder, and red because there's blood everywhere. And it actually has not a super deep storyline. It's only a 3 or 4 hour game, but it has a storyline that you have to get through the whole game to get to the completion. So it was worth paying attention to. It was pretty fun for what it is. Because Elle and I were playing it together because he got on a random to-do list, and so we were kind of just chatting it out over Xbox Live Party Chat. It's not a co-op game or a multiplayer game. Some of the solutions seem like they'd be a little difficult to do if you weren't getting some help, but there are guides out there if you want to streamline the game real quickly. I'd say we probably played the first, half of it legit. Does that sound about right?
Yes, and unfortunately, there's a lot of missables when you do it that way, because there's different ways to solve things.
Right, and that's why we decided to go with the guide route, because there, in that first 2 hours of a 4 hour game that we played, we probably only got 3 of the 8 achievements you can get during that playthrough. So, but yeah, it's an interesting little game. If it's on sale, it's worth it. But yeah, it was surprisingly gory. So that was my big takeaway there.
I'm watching the launch trailer for it. It looks interesting. It kind of reminds me of a Castle Crashers art style-ish kind of a thing, but a lot less color.
Yeah, I mean, if you're relating it to Castle Crashers in terms of it has that sort of flash animation look to it, where it's sort of a hand-drawn character that's moving on a 2D plane, that I could see the relation between the two for sure.
That's the way to explain it.
Yeah. But that was it for me. What about you, Kenny? Did you get to play any games in the last week?
I did. So I've kind of been on a tower defense kick, and one of the games that I played over the past week was Rock of Ages 2. Have any of you guys played this?
I have not. I was going to surprise you to talk about it, but I did not get around to it.
I played the first one, and every time I've booted it up, I've always been surprised by its humor. I wind up laughing all the time. I want to say there's a sound effect of some of the citizens screaming as you're rolling by, and it just makes me chuckle every time. But I haven't played the second one yet.
Yes, so Elroy mentioned this when he was recording with us a long time ago. And I watched the trailer, I'm like, this looks insane. When I say this is an Elroy game, think how his goofy humor type is. This is an Elroy game. Spot on. And you would probably also enjoy this for the stupid humor.
Really?
There just needs to be raccoons in it, and then Elroy would be set. So this game is a platformer strategy tower defense game.
I originally noticed that you were playing it, and then the next day I saw that you popped a tower defense leaderboard achievement. I'm like, wait, what? That game is tower defense?
Yeah, so the way it works is your goal is to roll a giant boulder into the enemy's castle. So both you and your opponent have a battlefield. I shouldn't really say battlefield. It's more like an obstacle course. So there's ditches and jumps and stuff like that. And there's cliffs that you can't roll off of. And like I said, you have to navigate through the obstacle course. And the faster you're going and the more health your boulder has and the more strength it has, the more damage it does to the opponent's gate. And once you take out all the HP of the gate, you bust into the enemy's castle and then you smush the enemy. Now, with this game where it's the platformer tower defense kind of thing, is both sides have the exact same field, and you start off the game, you got about a minute and a half of setup time. So you have a set amount of gold, and you can build different traps like catapults to damage a boulder, sticky cows, which when they get run over, they stick onto the boulder and make it a little bit more difficult to control. And there's a whole bunch of different things in it. And then eventually your boulder gets finished being created, and then you switch off of the typical tower defense view, and you start playing as the boulder, and then it becomes like how you have those games where you're in a marble and you got to get to the end zone. That's kind of how this is, except you're the boulder, and you navigate through the traps that your opponents set up, and it's goofy. It's a lot of fun. I wound up catching this on sale last week. It's typically $15. I wound up catching it and getting it for $4. And when I saw, I'm like, all right, that's a really good discount. Let's go ahead and grab it. I'm not super far into it, but from what I've played so far, it's really good. And it kind of has that art style, like if you've played Awkward, where it kind of has like that hand-drawn kind of thing where they're moving real bad in animation with just stupid humor. It doesn't take anything serious. It very vaguely reenacts famous historical battles. As far as the achievements go, it's a 6 to 8 hour completion, and it's actually relatively kind of easy. Like, there'll be a couple trickier ones, but for the most part, you just have to complete the story, play a couple matches online, and then there's a few miscellaneous ones, like to win a match while using only animals to defend. So it's simple enough. And the nice part about winning the ones online is that you don't actually have to match up with someone. If you are playing this online and you can't match up with another opponent, it just puts you against a super easy AI that it takes almost no thought to beat.
Interesting. I'm surprised it just doesn't cancel out.
Yeah. Like most games, it cancels out, can't find, and you gotta try to find someone to help you boost, but not this one. Just gives you a AI for you to just absolutely demolish, because the AI is not good.
So I do see that the 3 hardest achievements by ratio are get a bronze in all the time trials, silver, and then gold, respectively. Have you tried any of those time trials? It could be a turnoff for a lot of people.
Yeah, I haven't touched them yet. I'm one of the people that don't like time trial achievements, or even time trial period, not just for the achievements. So I haven't touched them yet. I think it's the kind of thing. It's not super difficult, but you kind of give it a few tries and you'll get it.
Yeah, I'm looking at the gold one. I assume the other 2 are probably the exact same thing. But somebody made a guide for the gold on, I guess, all of the maps, or however it's laid out. Looks like it's about, 15 to 20, and his video is 12 minutes long. 12 minutes. So they can't be. I guess they're really fast. Does that sound right?
Yeah. So if it's what I'm thinking of, it's basically just get through the obstacle course quickly.
Okay.
Which there is one achievement that I did online, which is the Rally Boulder achievement. It's to win an online match of obstacle race. And it was super simple. It's basically just the map itself with a couple of traps set up, and you just have to get to the finish.
Yeah, this doesn't look as bad as it could be, I guess. I'm looking at a screenshot on the YouTube video. It says your best time is 17 seconds. So I guess if you have to do some memorization and some do-overs, 17 seconds to however long it takes you, 20, 30 seconds isn't too bad.
Yeah, like the boulders control relatively well. Like there's different boulders that you can use. Some are a little bit lighter, some are a little bit heavier. Obviously, the heavier ones do more damage, a little bit harder to control, blah, blah, blah. As far as platforming goes, it works all well. Like it's not like, I hit A and then a second later it jumps, because you can jump as the boulder. Yeah, if you haven't played this, or you have no idea what I'm talking about, just go watch a trailer. Just go watch a trailer, and it's one of those things where you'll probably be intrigued, and as soon as it's on sale, you'll want to buy it just to kind of try it out, because it is goofy, and it's a lot of fun. With that, you play anything else, El? Let's kick it back to you.
All right. Since my cohort Michelle is here, I will mention another game we played together. We Were Here. Definitely have mentioned this before, but we had started the game. We had started the game and gotten about halfway playing legit, and then we'd stopped, and then we decided to pick it up again. And
decided on your RTDL list. decided.
Sounds about right.
The RTTL decided that I should pick this up again. And we continued where we left off. And I seem to remember people saying they had trouble with the chess level, but
You have to be somewhat quick, if I remember correctly.
So I was the side that had the chessboard. Annoying thing about it is that it's timed. So after a couple minutes, your screen starts freezing, and you get less. That's what I'm looking for. Retail space. Oh, that's what I'm looking for.
You have lowered visibility?
Yeah.
Real estate?
Yeah,
Screen-
that's it. That's
screen
real estate. Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to say.
Retail space,
Retail.
real estate. Yeah.
Thank you, Corey.
You're welcome.
So, and then on the other side, Michelle had to find the chess moves and read them off to me. So, of course, she was reading them off to me, and the first move or two you can make with the pawns, you can put whatever, and they won't tell you that it's a mistake. So I was doing the pawns, and then she read the next move to me, do the whatever from the right, and I was doing it, and it wasn't working. And then she picked up on the fact that I was standing in the middle of the board, and she was looking at the pieces from behind the board, so left and right were different. So once we figured that out, we were able to get that one done. It did take several tries. The annoying part also is you cannot hit start and hit retry or restart the level. So I would just quit out and start it again. That actually saved time doing that. And the other good part about doing that is that if you do it on your first try, you get an achievement for doing it perfectly. So wound up doing the chess. And then the next level is the spiky room. And then it's the last stage. I don't want to give away too much. I get the feeling everyone's using guides anyway, but we figured it out. And then we went to a guide. There's an achievement for beating the game without dying, but apparently you could just checkpoint to the last part and it still pops. So that was awesome. So wound up doing that. So now we have to go through again doing the other role. So which one of us was the librarian? You, right?
Yeah, it was
the real librarian.
Yeah.
What's the other one
And
called?
you were the explorer, yeah.
So we have to swap that because there's an achievement on each side. And it'll be interesting to see what the other person.
It was
has
somehow
been seeing.
appropriate that I was playing the one that was taking small, measured responses to everything, and you were playing the character that just openly walked into pits.
What do you mean? Just because I'm the pits at games doesn't mean anything. This time when we played, the walkie-talkie actually worked the way it was supposed to.
Yeah.
Oh, that would help.
It's a really fun concept, and we've also discovered as we played the game that there's very minimal randomization. So there are the spike puzzle, there are 5 or 6 books scattered throughout the room that the librarian is in, and the explorer has to tell the librarian the symbols they see so that the librarian can find the corresponding book and then read the instructions. But the symbols don't randomize. It's just which one of the 6 books. So it is random, and I guess if they wanted to make it more trying, they could have made that randomization more severe. But that's why if you want to use a guide for the game, it works, because it's only randomized within a very small number of possibilities.
Yeah, so I would see symbol, and of course, I would say, oh, it's the one that looks like the penis. And then you're like, oh, yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about. Of course. I think what Corey did, you and Elroy would send pictures back and forth to each other and just did it that way. Instead of just, using your mouth and describing things.
I think we even did one step above that, and we had an image of all the pictures labeled like A, B, C, D, E, and it's like, all right, do A, D, E, and C,
I thought you were going to say FaceTimed.
So
we were on Skype talking, and then we used Discord to send pictures or text. I don't remember.
So looking now, the TA has a pretty good walkthrough for it, but here I go again saying you should at least try it legit once. And then do what you got to do, since it's a puzzle game.
So I I have the TA page open, and
Mhm.
a lot of times, just out of curiosity, I always click on developers to see what else games have done. Did you know there was We Were Here too?
Yes.
Mhm.
It came out like a week after it was available. Like it was like Games with Gold, or it was announced into. I don't remember exactly which.
So,
And then right after that, We Were Here 2 came out.
yeah, so We Were Here came out September 16th, and We Were Here 2 came out October 2nd.
Yes. So that's
they were out on
actually-
PC
yeah.
before.
I think that's
okay, that makes more sense.
I think that's smart games with gold strategy, honestly, because now I'm
Right.
yeah,
want to play
that's
this.
a great idea.
Actually, when you boot up the game, there's in the corner, it says We Were Here too, and then you press whatever button to go right to the store. So
Oh, okay.
they know what they're doing.
Yeah, I just never seen that, and I found that interesting. Everyone talks about
Okay.
We Were Here, but
And it's
never
only-
to set. Not,
Only
never
$5, I think. Right? You're looking at it.
Sequel's 10.
Is it?
I think
Unbelievable.
We Were Here. It launched into Game Pass, right? So it's
Yes.
Right.
like it's a brilliant move, because chances are, if you have another $5 game swimming around in the sea of $5 games on the marketplace, it's going to get overlooked. But if it's already in your head, like, the gameplay was good enough, and it's definitely, there aren't many games like this. I know A Way Out is probably the most similar conceptually. So if you want to do something like this, it's that was smart marketing. I don't know how much. Let's see something. So We Were Here is tracked by 13,000-ish gamers,
Mm-hmm.
and how many have We Were Here to?
1,172.
Wow.
Yeah,
I wonder how much lower that number would have been, though, if not for the release on.
Oh, I'm sure it'd be much lower. And that's only
It's also-
on TA too.
Right. It also seems to be a little longer. The estimate on We Were Here is 1 to 2 hours. We Were Here 2 is 2 to 3 hours. And at $10, that changes things. If it hits that $5 price point, maybe more people jump on it.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, what else did Corey do?
Well, I played a game that was on Game Pass, not Games with Gold, to help me survive another week in G-Task. Not alone, but it did a lot of damage for me, and that would be Felix the Reaper. I might have mentioned this a long time ago when it first came out. I dived it pretty quickly. There's a Win 10 stack, so you might know it from that as well. And you can play both with Game Pass Ultimate or whatever it's called. It's also on xCloud. The X1 stack is, but it has some fat TA. This game does. The worst part is that it has 2 unobtainables. There's currently a forum post out there. Somebody's threatened to call the BBB to get them to fix it. The 2 achievements are for completing all the time trials, and then and to complete all the achievements. So if they do fix it, man, that's going to jump insanely high.
This guy that wrote that forum post, his name is Dockerrude. It's unbelievable.
It was not me. It
Oh.
was not me.
Yeah.
The game is already, without those 2 achievements, the game is already worth 6,300 TA.
Wow.
Over 1,000 Gamerscore. I've done a lot of the game. There's 5 chapters. I only have the 5th chapter left, and they're like 4 to 5 levels each. And you have to if you don't remember the game, you need to put something somewhere usually, or get somewhere, but you can only travel in the shadows, and you can turn the sun, and you have to do all of this in like so many actions so quickly and without mistakes in order to get these skulls. You kind of like check marks off the level. You don't have to do them all in one go, so you can kind of pick and choose which ones you want to focus on. And then once you beat the level, you can go back and do a hardcore version of it. And the hardcore version is obviously different setup. You don't have any of that time trial stuff, but there are 3 coins on each map. If you get the 3 coins and complete the level, that's kind of like your stamp on it that it's done. There's nothing else to do. And those coins are tied to an achievement as well. So the Game Pass is the huge inflation, and I guess just because of how the game doesn't seem that hard. It's a a different kind of puzzle game, but being a puzzle game, that means that somebody did write a video for it. So I'm basically following a video. It takes a little bit of time, but once you kind of get the flow of it down, you can get through some stuff. It makes preloading pretty easy. I'm kind of giving away a little GTAS secret here, but I'm nearing the end of the game, and once I get to the last level, if I just don't complete the last level and I can save it, just the regular version, that will equate to 250 TA difference just for completing that one level.
Very nice.
If I
How
do
long
the
does
hard,
a level take?
it could take anywhere from like a minute and a half to maybe 4.
But you're still looking at a small amount of time to get a fairly good TA ratio bump.
Yeah, and that's playing time. To do the time part of the achievement, I'm watching a video, and you can't even hit start. It won't stop the timer. But if you hit the guide button, it will. So you got to add a little bit of time in for that. But if I do the same thing, but if I do the hardcore level, that's when I'm getting to the last part of the achievement. If I did every hardcore level, got every skull that I could except for the last one, that would give me 4 skulls in each one of this one. Yep. And probably this one and this one. That would give me 280 Gamerscore and almost like 2,600 TA.
Whoa.
So
wow.
it's going to be a fat jump whenever I decide to pop this. Probably be this week. I think I will continue it. The unfortunate part is, like I said, there is a Win 10 stack, but it runs like a pile of dog poop on my Surface. And so
that sucks.
getting the timing, the quick stuff is going to prove challenging, and I might not even deal with it. Undecided yet. It has fat TA as well, so it could definitely be used, but your machine has to be able to run it. It has to be at least decent. I haven't figured out any optimum settings yet to get that to work, but yeah, it's a fun game. I hope the unobtainables get fixed, but if they don't, no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right now me and Elroy, obviously GTAS partner, are the 2 top scorers on my friends list. So it's, for some reason, this game hasn't really gotten around. But I don't know. I think it will eventually.
Oh, I would imagine the difference on this, because I see you already have 2,100 difference, so this really helped you 1 week.
That was this week. Up till midnight last night playing it. Like I said, unfortunately it's not super quick, but once you get in the flow of it, you can just kind of keep going, and like I said, some of these you can preload to your advantage pretty easy.
All right, Michelle, well, why don't we throw it back to you? You got anything else you want to talk about?
I jumped the gun and talked about 2 games briefly earlier. But the other game I played a lot this month actually had to do with the other personal challenge I set for myself, which is a non-backwards compatible challenge. So back at the beginning of January, I wrote a blog and highlighted 12 games, and in one case a game franchise, that I wanted to make some progress in, with the idea being that these disk drives may die one day, and I want to make sure to get what I can out of these games that have lie dormant for a long time. So L.A. Noire was the first game that I picked.
So good.
And it's very good, but I talk about it at length in a segment I recorded about this non-backwards challenge. So if that segment makes this week's show, I don't want to go into it too much depth here, because you'll be hearing the same thing again. So hopefully it makes the show, and this will just be a teaser for that segment coming up after the panel.
Foreshadowing.
Ooh.
I happened across this YouTube video called What Happened or something like that. And I had no idea that Eleanor went through developmental hell.
Yeah.
I'll have to show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for a long time. I didn't get to finish it. It's like it was over a half hour. But check it out.
The whole game, unfortunately, had a really messy development history, and of course a really messy post-release and all of that. And of course, Team Bondi did not survive. The team that developed the game did not survive everything. But it did get a remaster, I hear. So I guess all is not lost for anymore.
It was meant to be a PS2 game, I think they said. So kicked around for a bit.
That explains why we never got a sequel then. See, I don't remember any of that. Of course, but then again, this was 9 years ago almost that this came out. So that's not surprising. I don't remember any of that crap.
I wouldn't count a sequel out. I kind of wish there would be another one. Everybody that I know has played the game has good things to say about it.
Have you not played it? Oh, okay.
No, I have. Yeah, I on the 360. I remember like this is one of the first games I think I bought like the season pass for, and it like had a considerable amount of content, so it made it seem like it was worth the money.
Yeah, and this will seem redundant, but the game is very, very good, and it's unique in what it presents. But I felt like the third act of the game just wasn't very good. Like, for a game that spent so much time in development, it felt like they had to rush to make a deadline and didn't quite see the story all the way through. I know Elle, right? Because the first time I played the game, I didn't play the game really. I watched Elle go through it and kind of sat and helped figure out some of the interrogations poorly. But the ending was just, right? We were both kind of sitting there like, oh, that's what happened? And do you even remember it at this point?
Doubt. No, I remember liking it, but I don't know, maybe I'm weird. What I was going to mention about the DLC is I'm curious to play it, because what I think they did is just pulled 3 cases out of the main game that were supposed to be in there. So they're not like standalone. They actually take place during the story, from what I understand, because in the definitive edition of the game, they're in the right place. So
if you have the DLC installed when you play it, those cases do seamlessly integrate.
Yeah, so I think maybe that would help a little bit with what you're.
I don't think they actually expand on the story, like the overarching story. You kind of have to think of the cases in L.A. Noire like you would if you were watching an episode of Law and Order. You can play each of them independent. The story kind of happens in between the moments of each of the cases.
Right. Huh. Well, typically I would be angry about, you selling me what should have been in the story, but considering I remember getting the DLC for this for $1.14, so I'm not that upset. I remember it was on a stupid low price, and it was the kind of thing it's like, well, I might as well buy it. It's so cheap.
Might as well buy 36 copies of Madden 19.
Speaking of 36 copies of Madden 19, did you have any other games you played this week?
I did. I have one
NBA Live 19.
I got that one. I have one other game to talk about, and it's another tower defense game, and I absolutely love this. I had so much fun with it. It's called Pixel Gladiator.
That one's tower defense too?
Yes.
Goodness gracious.
Tower defense. And honestly, I think it should also be shoot 'em up.
Really?
I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Nate brought this up a few weeks ago. It was on sale. Unfortunately, I didn't pick up during the sale. Not that it was that big of a deal, because it's a $7 game, and Bing Rewards is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea is it's super simple. It's one of the most basic tower defenses out there, I think, in a way. It's 2D kind of side-scrolling kind of thing. You go back and forth. Your object, as all tower defense games, you have to protect the reactor, which is right in the middle. Honestly, you wind up dying. I don't think anyone has ever damaged a reactor on me, because it's just there. But essentially, you're little. I don't know. You're some sort of like space soldier. I don't know. You go around. You can shoot the aliens that are coming from the left side of the screen and the right side of the screen. You go back and forth shooting them. As you kill them, you earn money. In which case, you can upgrade your character. And by upgrade, I really mean just buy new weapons. Or you can spend that money on buying like turrets and stuff like that to help defend the reactor. lot of fun. Like, if you like shoot 'em up games, tower defense, I would try this out. It's a 1 to 2 hour completion. That's honestly, if you knew what you're doing, maybe. I found it a little bit difficult as there's not a lot of direction when you first start. It's just like you get in the game and they're go, and it just lets you figure it out. So at the beginning, I actually didn't like it. I played it for a little bit, turned it off. I'm like, this sucks. I'm out. And then I wound up going back to it, and once I kind of figured it out, I'm like, all right, this is good. And I just kept playing, and didn't want to stop. The achievements are kind of straightforward. It's basically just, buy all the guns, complete the 3 different areas, which is there's just 10 waves in each of the areas. And then there's a survival mode, which is where you'll try to get most of the achievements in. And that's, have 50,000 credits on you at once. Completely upgrade the mech that you can buy. Just stuff like that. There's a guide on it from Sangria's over at the what's it saying?
The hidden levels.
Over at the hidden levels. So
he's hiding under your bed.
Well, that's creepy. Yes, it's also like it's an old person graphics game. So
yes. Oh.
Typically, I kind of look at that art style and go, eh. But this one I wanted to try out just because it was very unique looking, and it looks like a lot of fun. It looked like it would be fun, and it wound up being a lot of fun.
I'm glad you had fun.
I did have fun.
Speaking of fun,
you need to make a run for tower defense leaderboards.
For ghosts in Maryland.
Shut up, Al.
What?
Yeah, I actually kind of forgot I was tracking that, and then I wound up popping a couple leaderboard ones, and I'm now 4th in Maryland, so that's cool.
Okay, Casper.
Wow.
Oh, speaking of Casper, they were talking about Casper Van Dien and Starship Troopers in the Discord today. What? It's true.
Well, okay then. Well, with that, let's continue on. Unfortunately, there has been some server closures.
Wait. I'm not done talking about my games.
Well, in that case, do you want to finish talking about your games?
I do. I got lots of games to talk about because I am just a hardcore gamer. I wanted to briefly talk about last month's RTDL, in which I stupidly tried to make a run for the full completion, but much like the rest of my life, I fell short. I tricked Michelle into helping me with some games. We booted up Connect Disneyland Adventures, and the highest ratio achievement on my list last month was to complete all the missions for Buzz Lightyear, called To Infinity and Beyond. And in the Connect version of Disneyland Adventures, you could play 2 players, and both players get the achievements. For some reason, on the 1 versions of these games being Disneyland Adventures and Pixar Rush, it's host only, which is just awful because they improved everything else. It's faster and you can use a controller. So we were like, oh, what do we have to do left? And we went to Buzz Lightyear and we talked to him and he said, congratulations, you finished all of my missions. And the achievement popped.
That was the best accidental preload ever.
It was an accidental preload. The last achievement we got was in March 2018, so effectively 2 years ago.
I think what happened in that case, so if you haven't played Disneyland Adventures, whether on the 1 or the 360 version, when you're doing quests, there's this sort of golden trail that leads you from one quest to the next. And I remembered at some point we couldn't find this quest marker anymore. And you can pick from the active ones you have in the game's adventure journal. And we just kind of let it go. So this time when we booted the game up, let's just go talk to Buzz. Let's see if he has anything to tell us. So there was no trail leading to him because he had no more quests to give us. But he still had that exclamation point that indicated he had something to say. So worked out great.
Nice.
It did. The other game I worked on was Darksiders, in which I needed to spill 3,000 pints of blood.
That's a lot of blood.
It was a lot of blood. So there's no real grinding spot that's what I had hoped on and banked on, that there would be some spot you could just keep going and going and killing stuff. And nope, you basically just need to progress with the story. And so I did, and we played for a few hours. And I always say this, the last time Darksiders showed up on my random to-do list, or UHH, one of those, I said, oh, this is so much fun, I'm going to get back to this. And I never do. But I played a lot of Darksiders, and unfortunately I ran out of time to get the Condemned achievement to beat that campaign. So I wound up with a Kiefer, 24 of the 25 random to-do list achievements. So Michelle helped me with that one. She basically just read me a guide so I wouldn't miss any of the chests and stuff like that. So this morning, I decided to do something by myself.
What?
I know. Also, my random to-do list was Rayman Origins, which is another game that I play in drips and drabs when it shows up on contest lists. Oh, man, there was an achievement to get called the Jaw, which is to earn all the skull teeth. I looked this morning, and I had 3 left. I said, all right, let me go do this. Basically, what they are these shortish levels where you chase this treasure chest around, and you duck and jump and attack, and usually they're about 1 minute to 3 minutes. But if you die, you got to start all the way over, and just do it over and over until you memorize it and figure it out. So I finally got that one done. And then I said, you know what? I'm not going to leave one achievement left. There's another achievement, that another level that opens up once you get all the skull teeth, called the Land of the Livid Dead. And on the guide, there's like a 6-minute video. So I'm like, oh, it's a 6-minute video. This should be easy. And of course, it took me over an hour.
Mm-hmm. I remember that stage very well. I'm actually impressed it only took an hour, because it's the kind of thing that take a whole lot longer than that.
I mean, I played the game for 2 hours this morning, so maybe it took a little more. But I only consulted the guide when I was completely stuck at how to get through. Like, there were little things I forgot, having not played in a while, like to get more height on a bouncy thing to do the down and X move. I kept most games you just hold A and do a longer jump. Not in Rayman. And then the boss was interesting also, to say the least. So I got that game completed finally. So what I'm trying to do now is the games on my RTDL.
That's a good one. Congrats.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm like, oh. If you look, you're like 11,000 or so people have this, but it's out of 85,000, so it actually winds up being pretty decent ratio, like around 3. So I guess I got to do Rayman Legends next, huh?
Sounds like it.
Got to remember.
Just add it to your RTDL list whenever it's time. RTL, you know.
Got to do dailies and stuff on that one, though. Right?
I have to finish mine, actually, because that's the game that was... Well, it stacks. There's the 1 version and the 360 version. I finished the 1 version, but both. I never... No, I...
Wow.
I have the daily... There's an achievement in Rayman Legends where you need to reach the final level of awesomeness. And you earn experience points in the game by getting trophies for finishing levels and by playing daily challenges and getting points depending on how you finish. And you typically earn about 10 points a day if you're getting gold times, or 5 points a day if you're getting silver times. It's usually pretty easy to finish in silver. And then if you're really good, you get diamond trophies where you get 50 points a day. Anyway, it takes a long time to grind this out, and I never finished doing the 360 version. So maybe if you start, that'll give me the impetus to finally get back in there and actually push to finish that game.
Yeah, Michelle. You make fun of me for only playing when it shows up on lists, but then you stop playing games for random reasons too, you know. Mean.
Well, I did complete it once, so I've got that going for me.
I don't know.
I know one game you didn't complete, though.
Oh.
Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2.
I knew you were doing that.
I am doing that. Why don't you go ahead and tell everyone about this game now?
I don't want to talk about this game, quite frankly.
Yes, you do.
I don't. I'm just going to cry. So after the failed boss hunt attempt, everyone was like, yeah, there'll be one in December. Yeah. There wasn't one in December. There'll be one in January. No. And not only that, there was no calendar either. So something was very wrong, very suspicious. So somebody figured out that EA posted a forum post. Thanks for the forum post, guys. Basically saying that community challenges were deactivated and they will not be supported going forward. So
Rip.
effectively, 2 achievements, bye-bye. And those are not the ones I need. I have the community challenges ones done. The cats versus dinosaurs and the boss hunt stuff, those have been periodically leaving and coming back as it was. So it was assumed that they would go away for a while and come back again. So they didn't specifically say those will not be coming back, but can't see them coming back with all that's going on. There was an article on TA today about it, and there's so many people in this TA thread saying, screw you, EA sucks. But really, instead of doing that, tweet them or leave a message on this forum so they see it. I'm pretty sure that even if it's not a million people, they'll still listen. They definitely did this once with the Need for Speed, Carbon, or some achievements. Definitely have come back. You just need to find that right person to flip a switch. It's so annoying. I'm definitely not the only one in this predicament.
Corey, you also played this game, right?
Yeah, I got a little
Plants
bit
vs.
in that.
Zombies Garden Warfare 2. So does this closure affect you?
I mean, I guess it does because I did the achievements, but I'm not really butthurt about it because I don't really care about the completion.
I mean, if I had just started it, it would suck less, maybe, because I only have the boss hunt achievements left, and that's it. So,
I mean, it's a couple 100-hour completion, right? It's one of those real lengthy ones. So I could see if you're already a long way into it, especially as it depends on something that was out of your control. That could be annoying for sure.
Exactly.
So what you're saying is EA has dealt you some death.
Oh, the other thing is that EA didn't follow their own policy of giving 30-day notice. That was the other thing that pissed everyone off.
Well, is this a server closure? Because they're 30-day... There's still online components of the game that work.
It's not a complete
isn't there
server
notice
closure,
related to server closure?
But I believe the notice was also for things being discontinued also. Features.
Oh, okay.
I didn't read the fine print, but there are certainly many people willing to show them this. So, and the other thing is that PvZ Garden Warfare 1 is still up. So I guess a lot of people were lax. It's not?
That one's a little different, though.
It is different.
It
is different.
That's probably peer-to-peer, and there's no quest that they have to do.
It is different.
No events.
But like I said, people have been lax on getting it done. And also, it was Games with Gold recently, so a lot of people didn't even have hands on it until recently. Maybe if they get enough people bothering them. Carnage.
Tweet EA.
I got Carnage to send out a tweet today, yeah.
I just don't know if it's worth their time and effort.
They don't have to do anything
to appease 50 people.
Well, is it the kind of thing where it's literally just flipping a switch?
Probably.
And could they do that? And is it something that people who need it can do in one more iteration of that event? So they could say, we're activating this and it's going to be active for the next month.
Yes.
And after that, we're done with it.
Community challenges, yes. Boss hunt, yes. Cats versus dinos, yes.
Okay.
I think so.
I also want to point out that there's only 3 achievements that are discontinued right now, and all 3 of them are for the boss hunt. So the cats one that you just said, that's not discontinued.
Well, it is though, because I guess they didn't reflag it. So when the boss hunt came back in November, I think it was, that flag went away and then it came back again. So
okay.
It's the other event.
Oh, okay.
And
gotcha.
then team player and together we win for the 3 community challenges, and 5 community challenge reward chests will, I'm sure, be flagged soon as well.
Gotcha. Okay. Never mind then. I take that back. I haven't played the game, so I didn't know.
But we need to rally together, whether you play the game or not. Just EA, damn it.
I can send an angry tweet.
I'm
for
gonna
you.
go to the BBB.
There you go. That's the way to do it.
I mean, in reality,
We'll get Daniel on it, and he'll take
in
care
reality,
of it.
there's a million games I'm not going to have completed, so it's really doesn't mean anything in the scheme of things, but it is annoying at the same time.
It's the principle of the thing.
I might be more mad if I spent a lot of time in it the last time Boss Hunt was here, but I only wasted, I don't know, probably 3 hours total. I just couldn't team up with anybody that week, and so I don't have really much invested in it.
Lucky you.
Lucky me, that's right.
All right. Hashtag Will and Dion. Corey, since Nate's not here, I'm going to leave it to you. You guys, you got some good recommendations for us.
Ask him the right way.
At least I think I do. And yes, I do have tabs. Actually, I only have one tab because, the rest of it just goes in the list because it's a list, not a tab that needs to be opened.
Ooh.
I can read off my list and tell you Minesweeper Genius is $3, that you should definitely buy that.
Minesweeper Genius.
It was one of my sleeper hits of last year, like a top tier game that I think that you could just chill and not think about. Well, you have to think about, I guess, what you're doing, but in a different way. You don't have to think about what you're doing.
It's
You know
not
what I think
intensive.
I enjoyed most about this game? It's randomized in such a way that you can't just find a video. And so you actually have to take the time to play it. And I think it's really not that hard. It's balanced well so that it'll challenge you, but it's not going to make you feel like exhausted to play it.
No, I was actually looking forward to playing it. I think I did it similar to like Glass Masquerade, if you remember me talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Just do like a few puzzles a night, and I was sad when it was over. I wish a sequel would come out.
Yeah, it's not even because sad when it's over, but you still could play more levels. You're just done with the achievements. Like, you have to play everything for the achievements. So when it's over, it's over.
Yes, I highly recommend that at $3.
Yeah, I'm probably
Another
gonna be
game
trying
that's
to
on
get that.
sale. Yeah, you definitely should. Another game that's on sale that I've played before in a mobile way, and that is, I know a lot of people have played it in our community, is Plague Inc. Evolved. It is 60% off, so it is $6. It is good contest fodder, has a ton of achievements. I know some of them are difficult. The completion's probably not the easiest thing in the world, but I know the game is like fun for me and my taste, so it's going to be another one of those pick up and play kind of whenever I have the itch. And
I'm with you there.
I almost picked it up in 12 Days of Christmas because there was a day or two that it was like full of those achievements. I think it was the shop achievements, maybe.
Yeah, it was.
And I ended up not needing it, but I was really close to buying it at full price. So 60% off, I don't think I'm going to pass that one up.
I think it's also should be noted, though, that there are 3 DLC packs, I want to say. So that doesn't get you access to everything, right? It's not like this is some kind of bundle. There's still plenty to get in there, but you will need to purchase additional content if you want everything.
That's good to point out. I actually
did not
didn't
know
even
that.
look at DLC. Yeah, I guess it does.
It looks like or maybe, are they title updates or DLC? They might be
There's 2
title updates. Yeah, so there's extra content. It might be in the form of just
Simian
title
Flu,
updates.
Shadow
Yeah, they all look
Plague,
like title updates, so even better.
and
Perfect.
Mad Cow Disease. Yeah, it's a long game, but I this is like, again, I can sit and chill and play it kind of whenever I want. So that's definitely going to be bought by me.
Yep,
And
I'm in
then
the same boat.
I can't go without mentioning Spyro when it's on the sale that it is. It's $20. It's going to take you
Buy it.
roughly 30 to 35 hours. You're going to get your money's worth. Really good platformer, really a 3D platformer, in my opinion. They have different bundlings where you can get this and Crash as well. But if you and Crash Team Racing, there's one for that too. But if you can only pick one, I would definitely pick Spyro at $20.
I wholeheartedly agree. It was a great game. It's so good.
And since this is Nate's favorite segment, he could not go without at least getting something in there, so he sent me a special tab, and he wants you to know that Let's Sing Country is on sale for $31.49.
Oh my gosh!
So
Thanks, Nate.
Let's Sing Country and the Platinum Edition. Get that discount and sing some country music, partner.
I don't know. Do they do that in Canada?
I think it's a Maryland thing. I don't know.
Let's Sing Poutine Edition. Oh, Canada.
Oh boy!
That was really good.
Yeah, that's one word for it. Oh, what quick games do we have this week?
Let's Sing 2016 and Let's Sing 2020. I don't know.
Not sure if you're.
I am not serious. No, I didn't see any obvious easy games this week.
Really?
Unless I'm missing something.
Minesweeper Genius was probably the closest thing, and that's not quick, really.
Sorry to disappoint you.
Oh, all right then. Okay. Well, Michelle, do you have anything that you're looking to pick up or want to recommend?
So it's really good that you phrased it that way. I'm not looking to pick up anything in the sale because, as I've stated over and over again, I'm really, really trying this year to start as little as possible, with the exception of something like Ori and the Will of the Wisps that I was looking forward to prior to the year coming in. So there was nothing really that I intend to pick up, but I just wanted to highlight this game Vampire that I know nothing about. It's spelled Vampyr, but it's $15 marked down from $50. It's an RP gainer, and we know it's the year of the RP gainer in our Discord and in our community.
Jainer.
It's by RP Jainer. Sorry, I was a hashtag gainers. It's by Don't Nod, which is the group that was behind Life is Strange. So it seems like it has some sort of development pedigree to it, although I can't speak to that, obviously. From my quick research about the game, it does have about a 3 TA ratio overall, and most of that ratio is attached to collecting various different types of weapons. However, those weapons are missable. There appears to be a pretty thorough walkthrough of the game on TA, but even with the walkthrough, the estimate is 35 to 40 hours, and it does require 2 playthroughs. But all of that said, it is a very, very steep discount, and if you're looking to fill out your list of RPGs to potentially play through the year, at this price, this may be worth a look.
It is also worth noting that it is on xCloud and Game Pass.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
And I think also it's a Win 10 stack. So if you get this version and the Win 10 version ever goes on sale, you'd be familiar enough with it to go through it in another 35 to 40 hours. But it just, I don't really know that much about it outside of that, sad to say.
So I've heard a lot of really good things about this, and I did not realize that it was by Don't Nod. So that kind of makes me want to play, because I love Life is Strange.
I imagine it's quite different. This game, I think, came out before Life is Strange. Let me see.
It came out in 20... Well, that's the Win 10 stack, sorry. This game came out in
2018.
It came out quite a bit after.
Yeah.
So
it was probably what they were working on, or at least a team of them working on between the main Life is Stranges.
Yeah, and it looks interesting. I like it. Kind of has that same art style to it, and obviously, as you can imagine, you're a vampire. So,
yeah, when in doubt, I'd like to try. Or it's originally $60, pardon me, so it's an even more steep discount than I stated. So, if you're looking for it, this would be the time to buy it. You're probably not going to find a better price for it around. I don't think.
Probably not.
If you like vampires, you must like zombies, Michelle. Dead Island.
Well, I didn't play
the Dead Island.
Plants vs. Zombies 2.
Damn it. Now I'm definitely making you play Dead Island.
No, you're not.
Tide.
Ugh.
What kind of name is that for a game?
All right. Well,
Kenny, did you see anything you wanted to pick up?
I did see a couple of things I wanted to recommend or get, but Corey basically mentioned 2 of them. I was going to mention Plague Inc. and Minesweeper Genius, as I'm interested in both of those. One other game that I might be getting is Clouds and Sheep 2. It is $1.99. It's a simulation game. I love me simulation games, and Sarah with an H recommended that I should play this game. So
Who?
So you're going for quantity, not quality this week, right?
Cheap games.
I mean, when it's $1.99, it's like, man, you can just
You can
redeem
go
a
to Taco
little bit
Bell.
of your Bing rewards.
You can go
and
to
get
Taco Bell. Can't use Bing rewards on Taco Bell, can you?
it. Can you?
Just do it.
Can you redeem a gift card? No, it's Chipotle.
Really?
Yeah, you can
Hey,
get a Chipotle gift card.
this is actually for your benefit, Kenny. Clouds and Sheep 2 was on last week's sale, so it actually has 5 hours left.
You're gonna want to
At
get
$2.
on that.
You're
All right,
gonna want to
guys.
jump
Well,
on
that's
that
the end of the
tonight.
show. I got a thing I got to take care of.
I was like, why didn't this pop up on the cheap side? Yeah. Anybody listen to this now, don't look for that prize.
Don't worry about that. All right, but there are a couple of games that you can get for Games of Gold. Batman: The Telltale Series, all 5 episodes. Fable Heroes, and TT Isle of Man. I know absolutely nothing about Isle of Man.
That's not what I heard.
TT, I love it is man.
I know nothing about that, but it's free, so
I don't know.
obviously go
You're
download it.
watching The Bachelor. I think you know all about Isle of Man. There's a special rose for you, Kenny.
He's saying things and I have no idea what
I'm
he is
very
talking
delirious right now. What's the next segment?
All right, and with that, 5 games have just been added to Xbox Game Pass.
Oh, have they? I want to know what's been added.
Yeah, what's been added?
I think you're lying.
That is a TA wording that has gone horrible in your thought process.
Yeah, I'm reading the doc and it's like 5 games that have just been added to Xbox Game Pass, leaving soon section. What?
Yeah, that's worded very, very poorly.
Yeah, I actually thought I was reading that wrong.
Shame on you, TA news team.
Daggone.
Shame. I've been on the other end of this, so I'm allowed.
Well, those 5 games are Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
These are 5
crap.
games that are leaving, by the way, to be
Yes.
clear.
Yeah, I should be more clear. These are leaving. That actually really sucks because I want to play Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Pump BMX Pro, the
That one sucks.
Jackbox Party Pack 2, and 2 Xbox 360 titles, Rage and Disney Epic Mickey 2.
Rage.
And right now they don't have dates, so the assumption is end of February, or maybe mid-February. They usually only give like 2 weeks. Don't they?
February. I heard
Yeah.
February 30th.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Seems legit.
That makes
Okay,
sense.
just making sure.
Have any of you, or I mean, I know you just realized your disappointment about Shadow of the Tomb Raider not being added, but rather being taken away since it's been in the service for a little while now. But are there any other games that any of you were interested in playing or might try to take a last stab at playing?
The only one for me is Pumped BMX Pro. I have quite a bit of time into that one. I've gotten a lot of the achievements. One of them actually glitched on me, so I don't know.
Oh, no.
This might be my last ditch effort to try to pop it. I'm afraid to delete my save after the whole Demetrius debacle, but I might end up doing that to see if I can finagle the tracker in my favor. I don't know.
So what achievement glitched on you?
There are 2 achievements related to the challenges. One is for completing half of them, and one is for completing all of them. So you would think that the first one would pop at 50% of the second one, which happens to be 720 challenges for all of them. Well, I'm at like 68, 70% on that one. And the first one, the halfway mark, stopped at 98%. And I watched it not go up, and it kept not going up. So it's like worth 200 or 300 TA difference.
Oh,
So
wow.
I was a little sad by that one in G-Task. But that one, that whole game is actually easier than it probably starts out to be. And I think they did patch it to make it easier. So you could definitely probably get a lot of it in if you want to put some time in it. And I think it's actually pretty fun. Most of the achievements are related to doing like tricks in a certain, well, not an order specifically, but you need to do all the tricks that the achievement title says within one run. So it's kind of fun to map those out, and it's really satisfying to pull them off. I never played the first game, but I might go back to it now because I think I have it. I just never played it. But I hear it's pretty much more of the same, and it's pretty enjoyable. I would recommend that one out of all 5 of these leaving. If you were going to try one, I would try that one. Although I think Tomb Raider would probably have most people's bet.
I imagine Tomb Raider would be a time sink at this point, though, if you haven't started.
I'm sure.
Does that one have any multiplayer?
I wish I could tell you. I have not played any of the Tomb Raiders.
Damn.
I know the rebooted one did. Tomb Raider, unfortunately, is the kind of game where I feel like if we played games the way that quote-unquote normal people played games, that's one of those things where you go, oh man, Game Pass, I got this game and I'm really going to sit down and play it. Like, we're the people who are like, oh, Wander Song, somebody figured out how to finish the game's achievements in less than an hour. Let's all go play that. So it's kind of unfortunate in a way. But let's see here. Does this game have multiplayer? Just as a consideration if anybody's listening in. It does have DLC that is multiplayer or has multiplayer in it, but you can do everything single player, it looks like. So that's not a concern, but there's a lot of content here, and the game is a 40 to 50 hour completion without the DLC. So if you're planning on playing Shadow of the Tomb Raider while it's still a Game Pass game, you've kind of got to prioritize that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you work on one game only and don't care about the completion, you can get a campaign done in a month.
Sure. It's also on xCloud, so you can play it at work during breaks. So
it's a wonderful way to make use of those great graphics.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll look awesome on my low-line smartphone. I'll just be on the menu for 4 hours.
I would say play Jackbox Party Pack 2, baby. That's the one to play. Legit, of course.
You have time to play it legit, at least.
Oh, and since Kenny walked away, I hate you, Kenny. You suck. I'm looking at your Rock Band drums, and I kind of want to play Rock Band now.
Oh, Rock Band would be so much fun.
There's a microphone. There's drums. I just need
I miss Rock Band.
I just need a guitar.
Well, I suppose we can keep motoring forward.
Fog loves all my songs.
I'm sure he does. So do we have some contest information we want to talk about? Any updates you want to give on the RTDLL?
Oh, is that the new name for it? RTDLL. Sure. Yes, I just asked Mr. ZZ Urban Spaceman for January's final stats, and he was gracious enough to give them to me, so here they are. I guess I'll read the top 10-ish people real quick. NBA Kirkland got the full combo, 25 of 25. I had the Kiefer Sutherland, the 24 of 25. Kingsman, 22. And Enigma Gamer had 18, as well as Freem Horio. Saucy Slingo had 17. Reset 42 had 15. High Road for 2, 13. Mark B and Freshy Fresh had 10. Good job, everybody.
There's still only one leaderboard, right? Because now the random to-do list allows you to play either in easy mode or hard mode or standard mode, but it's still just a single leaderboard,
Yes, it's
correct?
one leaderboard, and off to the side you could see hard mode, standard, or easy.
Gotcha. And thanks as always to the Real Gamerscore podcast, who hosts Random To-Do List and hooked us up with the stuff we need. Corey can use the more technical terms, but whatever it is we need on Discord to be able to have the results come through in the Discord channel. There's some cool new stuff that's been added, like when you have a reroll, it will show you your old reroll and what your new achievement is. So definitely come check that stuff out. And Elle, you want to tell people what to do if they want to request a list or they want to request rerolls?
You need to first figure out what time it is in Australia, and then hit up Chin Doctor or Spaceman himself.
Yes, and of course, thank you to ZZ Urban Spaceman for being in the Discord and being responsive to questions in there. It's definitely nice to have access to him, and he's really great about responding to the questions you have. So
thanks,
that's
man.
definitely
What
been
Michelle
helpful.
is trying to say is, damn it, Kenny.
I took it.
I'll say it anyway. Thanks, man. Oh.
Well, moving on from RTDL, we have Better Completions Matter, which we spoke about briefly, that this is the February Lovebirds Challenge. Corey, did you actually discuss it? Have you reached out to your partner at all to have any sense of what they're trying to do?
Yeah, I was quite surprised. I was kind of looking at his TA feed, and it's been pretty dry as far as January goes. So I was pleasantly surprised when I got a reply back from him, and it was a slew of information. He did research and saw what games we had in common, and I told him off the bat, I'm still in GTask, and he's like, "Yeah, no worries. Don't worry about this. Worry about that first." And so we have some easy ones lined up. We have some a little bit better ones that I can also use for GTask as well as PCM. And so we haven't decided exactly which ones we do. For the longer ones, I think we're going to go with Super Lucky's Tale. I think
good one.
We're both pretty much at the point where we just need to do the DLC. And so not too bad ratio and points wise, and not too bad of a time commitment either. So
while Nate's away, did he send over his nephew Cronus to help you with Super Lucky's Tale?
Oh, Cronus visited me a long time ago. Many, many moons ago.
Yo, hook it up, yo. Nephew!
So before I ask Elle about whether or not he and Highroad are working on anything in particular, there are some caveats with the points and how they count in the Lovebirds Challenge. I believe anything that you earn that's under a 1.2 ratio actually nets you no points. I'm not 100% sure, because Iron Fist stuff is amazingly detail-oriented and comes up with all these rules and sub-rules and does a great job of keeping track of them. And we do have to thank him for running this contest once again this year, despite knowing already what a impressively large amount of work it is. But definitely check out his blog for all of the details related to this challenge. Once again, the challenge is to complete the same game as your partner, and there's also a bonus if you and your partner both complete your random game for the month. Corey, do you have any chance of completing your random game for the month?
Not with GTask. It's Tony
What's
Hawk
your random game?
Pro Skater 5. So it's got some hours behind it, and I have some hours in it already. I actually, for Team RTDL, I had to do one of the hardest achievements in the game. So at this point, it's a lot of grinding to do. I probably won't have the time for it. I might re-roll it, but I probably shouldn't, because that one's not going to get done either, more than likely.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Elle, what are you and Highroad talking about? What's your random game this month? Do you think you guys are going to go for that bonus?
That's for me to know and you to find out, Michelle.
Well then.
Wow.
But it's not really competitive in that state.
And to him it is. He's not allowed to talk about.
I mean, at some point you have to tell me what games I'm helping you complete.
Wait, what? Oh, all right.
I do want to say that this has caused a bunch of people, and so our Discord is not we're not the hub for BCM, but we did make a channel just for it, and so there's a lot of chatter that happens in that channel.
Hashtag Better Completions Matter. Hashtag Dumpster Fire. I mean,
and
it's
so
awesome.
if you're in the competition, you want to talk to Iron. He's on there a lot. He answers, like Michelle said, very quickly. You want to talk to others. We have a lot of questions about, does it fit in this category, or we're trying to bend the rules in order to fit it. A lot of that happens in our Discord. Rerolls and stuff still happen in his official TA forum that he would like for them to happen, and that's where you submit requests. But the Discord is a nice, quick way to see where the other gamers are doing and kind of talk it out, and it's a really fun place. And this challenge in particular has caused a lot of people to invite their partners in that weren't part of the Discord, so we've actually had a lot of growth as far as newcomers in, so that's been really great. Like I said, if this is something that you don't want to see the other part of the Discord, you want to kind of get into it a little bit at a time, and you're into BCM, that's a great jumping point in, and you can kind of stick to that channel if you want. But it's very active. If you want to, even if you want to lurk and get a taste of the community, it's a great place.
And definitely thank you to anyone who thought to invite your your BCM partner into the Discord and have them there. As you just said, Corey, it's pretty active in there from names that I don't typically see in other parts of the Discord. So that's really been fun to watch.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of Discord. You don't have to participate everywhere. You can focus just on what you want to focus on. And I think that we're fun enough that other things will bleed over. You might start playing some RPGs every now and then and get into that channel, but no harm, no foul. We're pretty welcoming, and if you join, somebody's probably going to say hey. You don't got to say hey back if you don't want to. It's cool. So everybody's welcome.
My BCM partner is somebody who's in the Discord but doesn't really chat that much in there, but he's present, and now we can at least have a dialogue amongst ourselves, which has been very beneficial. So we have our little list of 3 games. We're both, as I mentioned earlier, working on Burnout Paradise Remastered. He's a lot closer to finish than I am, but it's definitely lit that fire to get this one done. And then he just finished stacking today, so now the ball is in my court. And we've got a couple other things we're working on. He's going for his random game, which is Ash's Cricket. My random game for the month is Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, which is great, and I've put a lot of time into it. However, similar to your Tony Hawk's issue, Corey, I basically just have a lot of grinding left to do, finding the different shards, cooking the different meals, and I also, because I don't want to say anything that's spoilery, so I won't, but I did something in the game that caused me to miss an achievement because I'm like, oh, I know what I'm supposed to do here to actually trigger what happens next. So I locked myself out of an achievement, so I have to replay the campaign as well. And Kenny, you have nothing to say about this, right? Because you skipped out on BCM.
Yes, I decided to skip out this year, so.
All right.
Continuing on. Gamertag Challenge. This month is Elroy77. Michelle, would you like to talk about this one?
Sure, I can take over a little bit from here because I haven't spoken enough already.
You know
but I will
more
try to
about
make this
this.
brief. So yes, the gamer tag of the month is Eliphalet77. So that is ELIPHELET 77. 3 E's is going to be a tall task, but I know you all can do it. And remember that a 7 means the title of the game has to contain any number. It does not have to be a 7. Eliphalet chose his bonus game as Hollow Knight, so if you earn 1 achievement in Hollow Knight this month, you will get a bonus entry. And also, if you've completed the game, just post that you completed it and you will still receive your bonus entry. As always, we try to come up with something a little different for the extra bonuses. The way this works is once you've completed the gamer tag for the month, you then unlock the ability to earn extra bonus entries. And this is important because in the last month, which we'll go through the last month at the end of this, some people submitted bonus entries, but you have to complete that gamer tag first. And I know it was unfair that P-Tart has an X at the end of her name, but those are the rules. This month, the achievement bonus is 1 bonus entry per achievement with ELI, so the first 3 letters of Eliphalet's tag, anywhere in the achievement title. So if you lock an achievement that has elite in it, for example, or delicious, those are great and we will count them. However, you can only use each of these words once. So I don't know the Elite Dangerous achievement list, but if it was one of those boring achievement lists where all the achievements just said Elite Dangerous 1, you can only use one of them because you've already used the word elite. Singular and plural for the purposes of this competition are unique, so you can use them both. So if there was an elite and elites, you can use both of those, but still only 1 elite achievement and 1 elites achievement. Not that I'm sure elites is really a word, but we're going to go with that.
We'll make it a word.
Does that make sense? Okay. Awesome. As for last month, for January, the gamer tag for the month was PTartTX, and we have gone ahead and put together everyone's entries for the month. I'm going to go ahead and hope that my spreadsheet here loads up so I can talk a little bit about it. There we go. So for the month of January, we had 32 people do some or all of the tag PTartTX. The highest number of draws that you could potentially get was 28, and this would be for the 7 letters completing her name, 1 for the bonus game, which was Viva Pinata, and then up to 10 achievements ending in H for an additional 10 bonus points. The only person that got that achievement, or that the max amount, now you guys know who plays this. Do you have any guesses off the top of your head who might have earned all 28 entries?
Chip.
Chip.
Copycat.
We said 42.
Saucy Slingo.
Whoa.
Yeah, so
You're saucy.
good job, Saucy. Yeah, definitely well done. So all of that being said, we had 417 total entries. So would any of you like to pull up random.org and be the guy to draw the winner so they can blame you when they don't win?
On it.
All right. Corey Dude. So our obviously little number is going to be 1, and we have 417 total entries. So go ahead and drop that in your random.org and tell me the number of the winner.
299.
299. The winner is Kingsman, 2625. Good job. Kingsman earned 27 entries this month, so he was 1 off of the max total. There were 4 people who actually had 9 achievements ending with H, and I'm not sure if that's just where they kept naturally or if there was some other kind of reporting issue. But good job, Kingsman, and congratulations on your win for this month.
Kingsman, I will send you my PayPal later.
All right, continuing on from that, get the G task.
Tita.
He coughed. The memorandum.
He coughed just like the
memoriam.
On the team side, we
have to play some somber music under this.
We have 2 teams that were eliminated: the Vulgar Monkeys of Ragnarok. Ragnarok's the only one that's in the Discord that was eliminated from that, and the other team is what is that?
Whoa,
Wait.
Hold on.
Wait. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
I'm sorry.
Start over.
I made a mistake. I made a mistake.
Vulgar Latin and I are like best buddies now. He plays Dungeons and Dragons on Friday night. He might play Dungeons and Dragons with me, even though he's in Nebraska. Come on,
He's
now.
got a macho
This
man.
whole team is
my fault.
The whole team is
all
in
3
there.
of them are in the Discord.
this whole team just joined Discord this past few days. So give them their proper shout out there.
I know, my bad. I realized that after I said that. I'm like, oh wait a minute, they joined. So it's Ragnarok 0272.
It's
Drunken
Monkey.
I'm too tired for that. Drunken Monkeys and Vulgar Latin. They have been eliminated from the team side. And the other team is the Boys to Kingsman featuring B. Smitty. And that team consists of Doughboy, Kingsman, and B. Spittle. All 3 have been eliminated.
Kingsman was a loser in G-Task this week, but a winner in Gamertag Challenge. So it's got that going for him.
That's not so bad. And on the individual side, Planting 42 is now out.
Wow.
Well,
Good
and
run,
as
though.
we're doling out all these thank yous for different contests, we wouldn't be talking about G-Task if not for Planting having come up with this, in 2011 now. So definitely thank you for all the work you continue to do with G-Task and continuing to make it run despite all of the occasional popcorn moments that happen along the way. We all definitely enjoy playing G-Task Premier Tier as much as we tell ourselves we don't.
All right, next contest.
It's a new one.
This is a new contest. I am facepalming so hard at this.
Who do we have to thank for this one?
I am absolutely throwing this to Corey. You can talk about this.
So this is
I cannot believe this is a thing.
A little bragway before we get there, but if you are an esteemed listener of the podcast, you know that FufuCuddilyPoof loves the milestone of a 10-day streak.
This
has encouraged
milestone
Skeptical Mario to sponsor his own contest. That would be Street King by Mario. This contest is a tracked contest for the rest of the year, 2020, and it's going to be it's going to have one winner, and that winner is going to be whoever gets the most 10-day streaks in the remaining 10 months of the year. They're going to win $10. This is fantastic.
So stupid.
So now this podcast releases hopefully this Thursday, so it'll be February 5th.
Yes,
right.
And,
so
I have some details here. So
6.
okay.
Oh my gosh.
To give everybody a fair start, February 10th, I believe, is the first day that you could start this. That way, it's going to give everybody a chance to hear this podcast, and you get a few days to break whatever streak you got going. And so, if you're not in the Discord and you want to participate, you can. Skeptical Mario, right now his name is Skeptical Jumpman. He has
probably changed it.
He has given us the exact dates that you do not want to play a game on, or get an achievement on, rather, to maximize your 10-day streaks.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. So starting on February 9th. After that, you want to play for 10 days, take a day off, play some Rocket League, play some Nintendo Switch, maybe.
Play outside.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
I guess
that sounds even worse than the 10-day streaks.
But I'm all over this competition. It is legit. There's a tracked spreadsheet. You need to at Skeptical Jumpman or Skeptical Mario, whatever his name may be that day, in Discord, or PM him on True Achievements. He automatically entered the patrons of AH 101. So if you in there, you are good to go. Signups, there's no close date to the signups because this can be retroactively tracked. He asked that if you don't really plan on participating, don't register, because it just makes more work for him, which is fair. So something about like L should not participate because he's not going to break that streak.
I don't know, man.
Right?
$10. I'm thinking about it.
$10, $10 hairs.
If you break your streak for $10,
I don't know. No one's ever offered me anything before.
I'll even jump and throw an extra $1 on that one.
That's like, I don't know.
So yeah,
that'll cover the tax on a $10 game.
Shoot,
exactly. So this is now one of my favorite ongoing competitions, Streak King by Mario. Get a hold of him. Say you want to register if you want to register, and get ready to not play on February 9th to maximize your score.
So stupid.
Stupid.
Oh my gosh! And I love
So
that
just to
he
be
added my
clear-
name to the sheet.
Just to be clear, if you had a streak ongoing starting on February 9th, and after 10 days, so on February 20th, you kill that streak doesn't count because it's a more than 10-day streak. It's specifically got to be 10 days.
No, he said, let me get his exact wordings, because this question did come up in the Discord.
While you're looking that up, I'll also say I will put the spreadsheet in the show notes, and he has it all figured out. The max total number of streaks that you can get if you do it perfectly is 25, and he actually has them all listed out of which days you need to play for each streak. So he already has a guide for you, assuming that you can do them all.
And is it a random draw if multiple people make this? Because it's very possible that people that are participating in this, there may be several who actually meet that requirement.
That's a good question.
That did not come up. We can update this after we get that from him. So yeah, 25 is the maximum that you can get in this competition based off what is left in the year. And yeah, you don't have to get exactly 10-day streaks for it to count. If you go 11, that counts as one, and then you break it, you've lost the ability to get, one more 10 streak day in there before the contest, ends. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't have to be exactly 10 days, but I believe as long as TA says you got a 10-day streak, after February 9th, that's where, after the start has to be after February 9th, then you're good to go for a count. So
if people want to see this, I know you said the spreadsheet would be in the show notes, but if people are in the Discord, what channel can they look to see a pinned version of this spreadsheet?
I'm going to create a new channel.
No
Oh, yeah?
new channel for this.
There's no new one for this. I don't think so.
This is the perfect kind of
face.
contest to put in hashtag contests. So
All right, new
that's where you
channel.
can find
He said
it.
new channel.
Information is pinned, and
Hashtag
simple
10
as that.
days.
just I think it's secretly trying to get us to preload every 11 days. I think I'm going to take advantage of Rocket League because I got all those achievements, and
Good idea.
I'm stoked. I'm ready. Got a game plan.
Awesome.
Oh, my goodness
The worst part
gracious.
about it is February 9th is a Sunday. That is a horrible day not to get an achievement in G-Task. So we'll see how this weekend goes.
But you don't really lose anything from that, right? Because if you get an achievement that day, then you would just kill the streak on its 11th day. That would still count, right? Like, you're not actually going to be falling behind.
then-
The optimal strategy is to miss February 9th, which is a Sunday, and get an achievement on February 10th.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. That is the first start date.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's.
But you can use it to preload, so we'll see.
All right, continuing on. Before we get to hashtag Bragger Camp, it is the start of the new month, and with that, we have a Patreon giveaway.
Ooh.
So, drum roll, please. We have let's get this Patreon. Let's get the wheel going. Let's
What do
see
they
who it's
win?
going to be. I was gonna do that after. I'll tell you what it is after I announce it. That the special patron that has won the prize is Mr. What the Fug, Old Man Fug.
Yeah, fun.
Nice.
Fuggy.
So he's winning a
Duet?
wall-sized poster of that cat meme.
It's a duet with me and Nickelback.
Oh.
Oh. Now, what does he really
Look at
win?
this gift card.
He gets a $20 gift card or a game up to $20 in value of his choosing.
Right.
Thank you for supporting the show, Fug, and everyone else.
Remember that you can enter this monthly giveaway for the low, low price of a $5 Patreon subscription.
Say that again.
Subscription.
All right.
As
We have a
well
running
as
theme
Discord
today.
perks. So
What other Discord perks do they get, Corey?
Tell us what
you
they've
can get a
won.
colorful name.
Mhm,
You get
mhm.
access to a secret, exclusive Patreon channel where discussion happens, and you also get an emoji, a custom emoji of your choice in the Discord.
Do they also now receive the ability to skip the line, so to speak, if they are a lower ranked Discordian in terms of getting access to some spaces of the Discord?
Oh yes, I forgot about this. This was brought up to us by a recent recent joiner of the Discord who subbed to us on Patreon, and he had a great idea. He was asking if patrons got fast track into our giveaways channel and our boosting channel. If you remember from a few episodes ago, we enabled the anti-mooching law, and so
That's such a great
basically, brand new people won't get into see the giveaway channel right away, or the boosting channel, just because of that one little soiree we had. You don't have to really talk that much to get to them, but if you're brand new and you're coming in and you're just trying to win stuff, or squad, what's the word I'm trying to say, squad on somebody's boosting session without really saying thanks or anything like that, that just doesn't really fly right. So you just got to talk a little bit. Really, you can get it in a day, depending on how active you are. But patrons, we do have patrons that just kind of want to lurk, so they don't talk too much, and that is completely fine with us. And now you have the fast track into those channels because,
You deserve
you're a
it.
patron, and we want to say thanks.
Yes. Thank you all so much for helping the show.
And of course, we wouldn't have that new fast track option if not for Hack and Pone suggesting this to us. So thank you so much for jumping into the Discord and jumping right into being a patron, even though you haven't been around in the Discord that long. And definitely welcome to the patron family.
It's very loving. All right. Now it's time for hashtag Bragcant. Go ahead and start
Starting
us
with
off, Corey.
completions, we have another new member of the Discord, Chesno. He has reached 50 completed games. We also have Facial the Floor at 550 games. NBA Kirkland's at 550 as well. And then our resident VSSer, Exe the Hero, is at 675 completed games.
Whew.
For completion percentage, we have the man himself behind the 10-day streak challenge, Skeptical Mario, and he has reached 80% completion percentage. I don't know if that's with the correct settings or not, but it's 80% nonetheless.
You can rest assured that it is not the correct settings because he hates DLC. But we still love Mario.
For streaks, Hawkeye Barry is on a 25-day achievement win streak.
Whoa.
Oh, hold on now.
Emperor L is on
Hold
a
on.
25-day win streak. Fight Club is on a 50-day achievement win streak. Al Nitrum is on a 75-day achievement win streak. Retro Chief is also on a 75. True Marvelous is on a 500-day. And Wakapeil is on a 2300-day.
Let's move on to the Achievements 1 milestones that community members hit this week. We have Kronos at 13,000 Achievements 1. Fighter 93 at 22,000 Achievements 1. Prue has reached 23,000 Achievements 1. Matt Tism at 25,000 Achievements 1. And Weasel Pizza at 27,000 Achievements 1.
Gamerscore. What's the first rule of Gamerscore? Wait a minute. Fight Club has 150,000 Gamerscore.
Just wondering where you're going with that.
Carpe Adam, 175,000 Gamerscore. And Chin Doctor, our favorite Aussie, has been hitting it hard trying to get to 1 million. He's almost there. He's got 850,000. Just
So close.
stone's
Nice.
throw away. I predict he'll get it within the next 2 months. TA score. Nate Dog Sniper has 200,000 TA score. Our favorite drummer, ChewieOnIce 3000. Not a good year for drummers, unfortunately. Luckily, this guy's still kicking around. 450,000. Iron Fist of Snuff, 500,000. And Ow Nitrum, 2,500,000 TA score. Darkwing 1232 is in the top 10,000 of the TA difference leaderboard. Wakapeil is in the top 100 of the TA leaderboard for Battle Royales. And Mr. Tropan
Nice.
is in the top 1,000 of the Gamerscore leaderboard for RP Janers.
Nice. Good job. And then we have a life event to celebrate. It's one Freem's birthday on February 4th. So happy birthday, Freem.
Insert joke about.
We should have read this in November.
I was going to say, insert joke about. I was going to hear this in May.
Hearing this in June, yeah.
We gotta remember that
But
for
we-
next
we-
year to announce his birthday in November, so he's kind of like
What if we just
hearing it
say it
at
now
the right
for the
time.
next year?
Right. Happy birthday, February 4th, 2021, Freem.
Happy 50th birthday. We had a disgruntled Canadian contact me and complain that his milestones have not been being read out, because I think what happened is he got the milestone right after we read them off last week. So they got lost in the shuffle. So he's going to get his own community spotlight. His name is Boots Orion. Once again, he's Canadian, but don't hold that against him. He reached a milestone of 300,000 gamer score, but he's got 630k TA, so he's got a pretty good ratio. He's very good at Connect.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think he completed Michael Jackson, that game, the Michael Jackson experience, and a whole bunch of other dancing games. He's very, very
he's
good
got
at
a
those.
2.1 ratio, and he'll always be number one to me.
All right.
That's what you told me.
Oh. You're my number one You're my
We
number
don't-
one American.
Oh.
I'll take it.
All right.
Sir
so
Wheezy Fuzz
Oh,
is on
what
a
is this?
10-day win streak.
These are real.
Regional
real.
Reptar on Ice 3000 is on a 10-day win streak. Corporal Nate Dog Sniper is on a 10-day win streak. The illustrious Fighter X93 Chip is on a 10-day win streak.
Kenny, you really need to record yourself just grousing under him saying that the whole time and just
Look at the grouse. Unreal.
Oh my god, they're not real milestones. It's 10 days.
I look
They're
forward
there for
to
a
all of
contest
you
now.
breaking your streaks to enter this contest.
Oh my goodness gracious.
So who's keeping track of these streaks? I guess Mario. Make
Mario.
sense.
All right, well, before we get out of here, we have one thing to do, and that is Xbox trivia.
Oh, right.
So, Michelle, you'll be able to
oh,
take
I
place
forgot
into
about this.
And since you're not on all the time, if you get this right, we'll count as double points.
What?
Whoa, no
Can't you be
way.
Canadian to this? I mean, Natorian.
All right, so this week's question comes from Chewbaccca, and I'm gonna admit he threw you guys a softball. I will be very surprised if anyone gets this wrong.
Oh boy.
So the pressure is on already. So he asks, which game was an Xbox exclusive? Was it A, Tomb Raider, the first one, B, Titanfall, C, Dead Rising 2, or D, Metal Gear Solid 5? Send me your answers in the Discord.
Read the question and the answers one more time, please.
Question is, which game was an Xbox exclusive? Was it A, Tomb Raider, B, Titanfall, C, Dead Rising 2, or D, Metal Gear Solid 5?
I don't know if that's as easy as you.
I got a perfect streak going here. I don't want to mess it up.
All
If
the
you
pressure's
answer without thinking, you'll probably do okay. If you overthink it, that might be the problem.
on. I'm not gonna lie, I thought for sure all three of you were gonna get this right away.
Is it?
And Corey is like sitting here
if it was-
really racking his brain.
Are you sure?
I can't remember if one of them.
You sure Halo's not a choice?
Like there's a key word in that question that you have to take into consideration. I think is what he's trying to get at,
Xbox.
and I'm trying to remember if that affects this one game or not.
Oh wait.
I think he's overthinking
One of
Hey, wait,
this,
Kenny.
this other one I don't have a lot of history
Kenny, I have
with.
a question. Is the protagonist reading any tombs?
Oh, for God's sakes.
All right, I'm just gonna go with
Oh, my
it.
gosh. All right.
You would have to listen to our
answers
20
are
questions. Patrons will know what we're talking about.
So, Michelle answered B, Titanfall. L answered C, Dead Rising 2. And Corey answered C, Dead Rising 2. And the answer is B, Titanfall.
Of
Hold on, no, it's on PC. That's what I was trying to remember, and I'm looking it up. It's on PC.
Dead Rising 2 wasn't exclusive, though.
Oh.
Was it not? I mean, I would have picked Titanfall, but Titanfall being on PC made it not an Xbox exclusive, but a Microsoft exclusive.
We were going to go with console exclusive. Dead Rising 2 wasn't an Xbox exclusive at all.
Right, I think it's pretty clear what the intention of the question was. Dead Rising 2 came out on PlayStation 3. Metal Gear Solid definitely did not come out exclusive. Shadow of the Tomb Raider was timed exclusive, maybe.
I believe Tomb Raider had like exclusive content.
Okay.
Yes,
I'm calling hearsay malarkey on that one.
you're just butthurt because you got it wrong,
No,
and you answered the same as L.
no, I thought Elle was
That was
going to be right for once. It's
That was very
fine.
stupid, Corey.
I thought this was a trick question saying being on PC does not make it an Xbox exclusive.
Then how
That's
do
what
you?
I'm getting at.
Then how do you justify answering
Well-
Dead Rising 2?
Because I don't know Dead Rising, and I know Metal Gear was not, and I know Tomb Raider was not. So that process of elimination gave me that one. I know nothing about Dead Rising.
Well,
But
The
Dead
whole
Rising 2 is
series.
obviously wrong.
I can see that now. Titanfall is tricky.
So I think we all
wrong.
get points because
I think we all just blame Chip.
I answered
that was a
Titanfall
bad
in like
question.
2 seconds, so it's right.
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
I'll tell you what. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give Michelle 2 points and you guys none.
okay. Wait a minute.
That makes total sense. Well, let's just give Chip -2 points then. It makes total sense.
Okay, you know what? I will add Chip to this.
Next
I'll add him
time
right-
I take a
This is
drive,
your
I'm going to ban
thing.
him from a channel.
You know what? Where's it at? Discord, podcast discussion, Warn, Fighter, X93 Chip, for being a horrible question asker.
Oh, Chip.
All right, I feel better.
Oh man.
Oh my god, that's gonna make. I can't wait to see his reaction to that. Oh gosh. Oh god. That's funny. All right, so as you requested, I'll give you that. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Chip's on the sheet at -2 points. That make you feel better as well.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh my gosh, that's good. That's been my favorite question so far. Oh,
Not
man.
mine.
All right. Well, with that, if you enjoyed this show, please like and review us on your platform of choice. And do us a favor, share it around, tag us on a social media, get the word out. More people listening, the better. Helps us out. If you want to send us a Twitter tweet, you can do so by sending us one on the Twitter at Achievements101. Check out the streaming platforms, Mixer, Twitch, and YouTube. Just search Achievement Hunting 101, or it's the platform /AH101. And last but not least, if you can help us out monetarily, we greatly appreciate it. You can check out our Patreon, patreon.com/achievementhunting101. All right, guys, class dismissed. See you next week.
Later.
Back to back with Matrarch and Elroy OMG. Love that guy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our second installment of Back to Back, Achievement Hunting 101's monthly look at non-backwards compatible games that we're trying to get out of our backlogs. So in case you didn't join us last month, I was joined by Elroy, and we talked a little bit about the games we were going to play. And today we are going to recap those things. But before we get to that, community user Skeptical Mario submitted his own experience with a non-backwards compatible game. So we're going to let you listen into that now.
We didn't start the Vayners.
Wait, M, that's the wrong clip. Play the right one, man.
All right.
Hi everyone, it's me, Skeptical Mario, and I want to talk a little bit about a non-backwards compatible game that is, maybe not near and dear, at least it's in my rear view mirror. It's Rotastic, a 200-point XBLA game from 2011. Developed by Dancing Dots and published by Focus Home Interactive, Rotastic is priced at $4.99, but it's often in the rotation of XBLA games on sale. I grabbed it last year for 99 cents. True Achievements has a class in the puzzle genre, but I would say it's action instead. In this game, you play through a series of single-screen stages. Each stage has a singular objective, whether it's collecting gems, breaking blocks, or fighting AI bots. The game's hook, so to speak, is that you can only move by swinging around anchor points placed on the stage. You grab on and you let go when you're pointing where you want to go. There's a little more to it. You can change direction at will. You gain momentum from hanging on to an anchor point. There are shields and cooldowns, but that's the system that makes Rotastic's gameplay memorable and at times frustrating. You could say it puts the fun in centrifuge. To complete Rotastic, you need to get gold medals in each of the campaign's 68 stages, whereas copper medals, okay, technically they're helmets, are awarded just for completing the stage. Silver, gold, and the ultra-shiny diamond medals require meeting certain point thresholds. Points are awarded for time remaining, lives remaining, and score earned by collecting gems and doing tricks, like the eponymous Rotastic, the Big O, and Rope Bridge. The difficulty climbs quite high in the later stages, and while Rotastic isn't the most difficult game, you will need to master the swinging traversal system if you want the completion. There are also 3 achievements tied to the local multiplayer mode, which is fine on its face, but let's face it, no one will ever play Rotastic Deathmatch except for the achievements. I found Rotastic to be a solid and competently built action game, and well worth picking up on sale if you enjoy a challenge. Sure, the art style is reminiscent of a 2000s-era Flash game, and the music is simple and repetitive, but if that's a deal breaker, why do you still have an Xbox 360? Michelle, Elroy, back to you.
All right. Well, thank you very much for that submission, Mario. We really appreciate it. And of course, if anyone else has a game they'd like to talk about, feel free to submit that to us as well. Or you can reach out to me via Discord PM, and I will certainly read it here on the next segment we run. So enough hearing from me. Let's hear who else is going to join me today. So first up, we have Elroy OMJ. How's it going?
Oh, hey. Oh, man, it's pretty good. No worries here. I'm excited, man. We got somebody new here.
I know. So
I mean, I'm finding second. I'm just kind of old news today. We got something better than that.
Yeah, if you were paying attention, I said first, which means there's a second.
Yeah. Well, I'd argue this guy should be first.
Well, he's going to be first. Would you like to introduce our special guest, though?
Oh my goodness, would I? So, he comes from a mythical land. He's very hairy. He transverses frozen precipitation on the ground. He is ChewieOnIce.
Welcome. Thank you very much for having me. That was quite an introduction.
Oh, yeah.
I'm hoping we can get a musical flourish there in post for you, but
yeah.
we'll see how that works out.
Get a Wookiee roar in, that would be good.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll see what we can do. But thank you very much for joining us, Chewie, and helping us get our time zone sign up so we could do this today.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for having me. I know it's tough to get us to sync up, but
this worked out. So we're actually going to let you start because you didn't get to tell us anything about your January game. So why don't you tell us about what game you chose to do in January for your non-backwards compatible challenge?
Well, I decided that I was going to get out the old deck. Is that skateboarding lingo? Deck?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is.
And,
that's all the skateboarding lingo I know, though, so don't ask me any more questions.
That is the only word I know.
Hang Ten Shaka Bra.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD High Def was the game I was picking.
Wow.
Have you guys played any of these Tony Hawk's games? The old ones?
I played the low def one. But,
well, I think you would be forgiven for thinking this was a low def one, to be honest.
Yeah, as much as I've played games my whole life, this is one franchise that completely missed me. I other than watching Elle play it a little bit, I have no playing experience with Tony Hawk.
Oh well,
yeah.
I don't feel so bad anymore. I thought maybe I was the weird one here.
No.
I mean, I don't play a lot of games, like real games, and especially ones that might have a celebrity endorsement or some sort. So. I think the last skating game I played might have been Skate or Die.
Oh, geez.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just not my go-to genre there, man.
Well, you see, me neither. See, I don't play sports. I don't watch sports. Is skateboarding even a sport? I don't know.
They're the X Games. That's close enough.
I don't know, man. They make cheerleading a sport. I guess this is sport.
No,
right?
no, don't knock it.
Hey,
Very athletic.
I've been watching that show on Netflix. That is amazing. That cheer show. Seriously, watch it.
And then play Let's Cheer, which is also not backwards compatible. But I digress.
Yeah, but yeah, back in the day, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, I had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. You see where I'm going with this?
Yes. So where did it jump the shark for you?
Did you get number 5?
I did not. So the first four main entries, and they were my jam. I loved those games. Those games were great games, and they built on each one. Each one got progressively better. They added to it. They made them more, fully featured. They added more tricks, manuals, reverts. Oh, there is more skateboarding terminology, I know.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Well, you couldn't have played 4 of them and not picked up anything.
Well, it was quite a long time ago. I've probably forgotten quite a lot.
Right, several children later, it all goes away.
Yeah. For some reason, though, that's where it ended for me. I never went to the other ones, the non-numbered ones. I can't remember even what they're called. Urban Wasteland, or I don't know.
Oh, it was wasn't it American Wasteland?
American Wasteland? I don't know.
Remember. That might be the one I watched Elle play once or twice.
They were quite low rated, and they weren't very well received in comparison to the original ones, so I think best avoided.
So I take it you didn't play the one that came with a skateboard? Some kind of motion capture thing?
No. I was quite late to the 360 as well, so I think those games had already kind of come and gone in their peak at that time. But yeah, I loved those games. So when they announced Postcode to HG, I was all over it. But for some reason, I just didn't get into it. And yeah, it's just sat wallowing on my hard drive, unplayed since, when was it that I dived it? 2 years ago now I dived it, but I've had it for a lot longer. Recent.
No,
yeah, but I had it on my hard drive for a long time.
Am I mistaken in thinking this is a Xbox Live Arcade, 200 point?
It's a 400 point.
400 point, okay, a little later.
Oh, yeah. God, why'd you bring this thing to this?
The thing is, I got it for nostalgia's sake, and to be honest, it kind of scratches that itch. It's got levels from the first two games. It's got Tony Hawk and some other skaters. But the real draw for me is that you can play as your avatar. Cool. There is something quite fun about skating around a shopping mall in America as Chewie, literally a Wookiee on a board. Unfortunately,
so Chewie on board is going to be your alt account.
Okay. Chewie on deck, maybe.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes. But unfortunately, because it's not backwards compatible, I can't take a screenshot and I can't take a clip.
Oh, no.
So no one will ever see the glory of Chewie on deck.
Oh, man. If only we had these devices that could record things, things we carry around with us on a daily basis, some kind of video recording device that would...
I've tried videoing the TV and it's terrible. It's all liney and weird.
All right. So tell us a little bit about jumping back into the game. Did you pick, because you had experience before and then had a long break and picked it up, and then now you picked it up again. Were you able to get right in there? And what had you already done achievement wise, and what did you accomplish over the last month?
So jumping back into the game, there was an initial kind of joy at kind of the nostalgia element. That first level is the one that I'd played already. I dived the game. It's called The Warehouse. It's quite iconic. It's the first level in the first ever Tony Hawk's game. But the thing is, as you progress and you play more of it, you realize that this is a really kind of half-assed attempt at a port or a remaster. The controls are quite shonky. It is not HD, despite what they put on the title.
What?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I mean, it looks okay, but I wouldn't. It's HD with a lowercase h, definitely. Yeah.
It's a lowercase GS too.
Yeah. I mean, and they've got. So as for the last few weeks, I've been playing through the various levels, which, like I say, they come from the first two games. So there's quite a lot of nostalgia in there. I kind of had my memory grapes bursting, playing through some of the levels. But then I realized that actually those games that I didn't play, the kind of unnumbered ones, they'd already included those levels in those games. So it wasn't like they were doing anything new or special with this game. They were just collecting the missions the levels they'd already ported and shoved them in a package, basically. So it kind of feels a bit lazy. But
how does this game actually tie to Tony Hawk? Is he make a cameo appearance in it? Is he like a little pixelated thing running around on there?
Yeah, he's one of the main skaters. There's, like I said, there's 10, I think, skaters. I couldn't name any others, but Tony is in there.
Oh,
I think Tony's been in every one. I'd hope he was in every one.
Yeah. It seems that that would make sense.
Yeah. But one of the draws
Tony Hawk.
one of the draws of the originals was you could create a skater, so you could just make whoever you wanted to be. I think I rarely ever played as the main ones, as the professionals. But like I say, doing it in this one is great. Doing it as Chewie. So what I did this month was I worked my way through most of the levels. Most of the achievements are just for unlocking each level, which you do by doing missions within each level. So you do like 5 or 6 missions out of 10 or so, and you unlock the next level, It's quite fun. And I've nearly got to the end of that. The rest of the achievements, the ones I haven't got yet, are kind of miscellaneous for doing specific things that are quite hard to do. But I'm hoping to go back to those at some point.
All right.
I see that you gained 40 whole gamer score.
Oh my goodness! The gains.
That's,
Hashtag gains.
Let me tell you, that's wow. I mean, you're just making me really want to play this game. I mean, everything you've said so far, it's just
I mean,
Do you
I'd
think
say
you'll get this one
because you said a lot of what you have left is kind of collecting, not collecting, but doing repeated tasks to get achievements. Do you think you'll go back and do any of that, or are you happy with, hey, I got 40 more in it, I'm going to just put this one down for now?
I don't know. I'm not very good at the game, but I think that's partly because the game isn't very good. It's just the controls are a bit loose, and I think with a bit of practice I could probably nail it. I see that one Big L has completed this game. So
he's really big on the Tony Hawk games, or was at a point. So
yeah. So I feel like the gauntlet has been laid. I feel like I probably do need to complete it.
Well,
is Tony Hawk really this famous? That, like, I don't know. Is he that big of a celebrity?
I think in that world he's probably the biggest one.
I think,
and I don't know if that's.
All right, I'm on it.
Before the games, he was the only skater I could name before
Right.
the games came out. He, but I think through like Jackass and stuff like that, I think. What's his name? Bam Margera.
Oh, is he a
He's
skater
another
too?
one.
I recognize that name. I didn't associate him as a skater.
Yeah.
All right, here you go. Apparently, Tony Hawk is worth $140 million.
Good man.
That's his net worth.
All right, so go ahead.
Second place is Stavros Niarchos. No idea. He's Greek.
All right.
He's yep. There you go.
So I have one last question about Tony Hawk. The soundtrack. Was there a particular song that was your jam when you were playing it growing up, or did you just love the whole thing? And did they retain all that in the HD version?
So the soundtracks are one of the real high points of these games. They are really on point. They've got like some classic punk, ska, hip hop stuff. I remember, I think Blitzkrieg Bop is a great one. They had NWA, Express Yourself. A whole load of great tracks. They've not really got any of the really memorable ones. I think they've got maybe 3 or 4 of the classics, but I couldn't.
That's a shame.
I couldn't name any of them off this soundtrack. I don't think they could be bothered to get the licenses for the real bangers, unfortunately.
Okay. Reminds me of what happened, I think, with Crazy Taxi. Like, that was another one that had a great soundtrack, and then when it got ported to other consoles later, it was just this kind of ridiculous, generic music.
And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if the reason it's not backwards compatible and the reason it's been delisted is purely based on the soundtrack as well. Licensing
Very possible.
issues. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, if anyone out there that's listening has Tony Hawk's Pro Skater allegedly HD and hasn't finished it yet, maybe you should challenge each other to get this done. Do you think you want to complete it someday, or is that not really in the cards?
Yeah.
Other than the Big L factor. I think next year's challenge is going to be monthly beat games that Big L has finished, because everyone should be able to do them, but that's not this year's task.
Yeah. It's not a big game. There's only 7 or 8 levels. You have to kind of get all the objectives in each one, and then do these like special achievements for doing specific things. I think it's perfectly doable in probably 10-15 hours. I think I probably put 5 or 6 in, so
Awesome.
I think it's doable. Yeah,
very cool.
It may not be a very big game, and that's probably why it only has 400 gamer score. I just wanted to make sure everyone heard that part. 400 gamer score.
So did we want to move on and ask Chewie about his February pick, or did we want to kind of go around and cover everyone's January picks first and then loop back around to February? What do you think?
Let's loop it back around. I want to hear what you guys have been doing.
All right, sounds good. Who do you want to hear first? We'll let you choose, Chewie.
Ladies first, always.
All right.
All right.
So, wait.
Elroy's ready with questions, I think. He's just going to step right in.
I thought it was time for me to talk some Uncanny. Oh, let's see.
No,
yeah. So we got L.A. Noir.
Good job, Elroy. You've been working on that all month, I think.
Did I actually say it right?
Yeah, Noir.
Noir. Okay, so looks like you, M. Well, why don't you tell us about your hashtag gains in this game?
I'm going to tell you about my hashtag gains very slowly because I think I updated my my finish,
that they're in the process.
And I didn't actually update how much I gained because I got one more achievement. I snuck in one more achievement last night, so I would have that last little bit to discuss. So here we go. Here are my updated gains. So I started.
Now, well, hang on. Well, before you say it, the bar to beat is 40 Gamerscore. So
wait. This is not a competition.
And
were you able to?
Shouldn't
were
it
you
be
able
scaled?
to clear this amazing hurdle there? Were you able to top 40 Gamerscore?
I think so, but to be fair, I didn't pick a 400 Gamerscore game.
All right, well, let's just take it, multiply it times 2. Were you able to get more than 80?
So in the month of January in LA Noire, I was able to earn 12 new achievements for 380 Gamerscore and 652 TA.
Right.
So I was able to put a nice little dent in it, not as much as I wanted to. I had wanted to complete more of the collectibles and things like that, but if any of you have ever played LA Noire, it has a lot of collectibles. And
that was going to be one of my first questions. Did you find all the freaking collectibles in this game?
No, I got through. I did get all of the landmarks. As it turned out, that was the achievement I got last night. When I finished playing the game, so I did finish the campaign. I 5-starred everything in the campaign, and I got the achievement for 95% of the clues. After that, I went to go do some street crimes and to pick up the landmarks, and I discovered that I...
Wait. To stop some street crimes or do?
Well, I guess you do them in the context of the game, but you're stopping them, so it's to stop some street crimes, not commit.
So you're not committing. Let me guess,
crimes.
you stop street crimes by shooting them in the head, right?
Usually. There's a surprising amount of death during the street crimes.
So... That seems like an unusual way to stop street crime and not create street crime, but I digress.
You can't commit another one if you're dead. Like it's that simple, and it's amusing to me in the course of the game that most of the, sometimes guys do shoot at you and you have to fire back, obviously. And the last act of the game, I know we spoke about this a little bit in Discord. The last act of the game plays very differently than the rest, and it becomes more firefights and things like that.
It's like they realized they actually needed to make a game out of it.
Right, exactly. But there's a surprising amount of cases that are like petty larceny that wind up with you killing a man. But that's just how Cole rolls, and that's fine.
Is that kind of like, oh, he's coming right for us, and then you just like, open fire? Is that what's going on? Or
it's perplexing because if you come close to running over someone when you're doing a police chase, the game immediately yells at you about how you're not allowed to hurt the citizens of Los Angeles. But I'm sure if you shot 30 or 40 of them during your missions, that the game wouldn't tell you. It's totally cool with that kind of violence, just not running anyone over. It's not Grand Theft Auto. Like, it really wanted to remind you that was...
Well, there has to be standards and limits and stuff, keep you in there. So did you beat this game? I couldn't tell from looking at the achievements. There were so many freaking achievements, and they all, I don't know, it was a muddy mess. Did you beat the game?
Yes, I finished the campaign, and I did get a 5-star ranking in all of the missions. As I had mentioned last month, I did use a guide for that because I had played it without a guide. Now, Chewie, you played this as well, correct?
I have, 100%.
Wow, so you've completed this game. Like everything. The DLC.
Flex.
Wow. Humble brag. So what was the question I was going to ask before you wowed me with that piece of information?
I've dazzled you.
I know, I can't even think. Did you play the game with a guide? Did you do a second playthrough with a guide? Like, how did you approach it when you played it?
Now, are you interrogating me? Are you going to cast doubt on my answer?
I've got my notebook.
Don't do any petty larceny while she's doing this. Or else.
Look at my facial expression as I
This
Nobody
is going to be
tells.
a game of gun to your head with a very poor ending if you lie to me. So.
Oh man.
Okay. I did use a guide throughout.
Okay.
Because
Attaboy.
I didn't want to have to replay too much, because I just the problem is with those interrogations especially is that the tells are just so, I don't know, obscure or nuanced that I think it's too easy to get it wrong without really realizing it, and I didn't want to have to go through that strain of getting annoyed at the game for telling me I did it wrong.
I agree. And for those of you who haven't played the game, when you're interrogating someone, you can choose to look away from your book of clues or whatever and just look at the suspect and kind of see their facial expression. And I found when we were playing it legitimately, it was generally pretty obvious if someone was lying, but then you had to pick the right piece of proof. So it was very easy to make mistakes even there. So there were lots of places where an interrogation could go wrong. So I completely understand that. And I would say now, as somebody that's finished the campaign at this point, especially among achievement hunters, because we generally have so much on our plates, L.A. Noire is a game worth experiencing. Elroy, cover your ears. It's not quick. Uncover them. But it's a game worth experiencing. So if you're going to play it as an achievement hunter and you want to streamline it, go ahead and play it with a guide, because it really is interesting the way that they built the game. The additional caveat to that, though, is the ending is terrible, in my opinion. Yeah. So, like, play it right up to the arson desk and just stop. And that's, like, the best experience of L.A. Noire.
Yeah, I feel like they just really weren't sure what they were planning on doing with the overarching story of the game and the main character. Like, they had the idea of, we're going to do these cases and these interrogations, and that all works fine. But then they realized they had to string a story together and a character. And that's where they really kind of fail, I think. And then they rush it. They rush it at the end just to give you a finale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree 100%. There were a lot of like really big plot points that they kind of knew they wanted to get to. And in the first half, they did a good job of pulling that along. And it really just seemed like a time crunch happened and the game had to get out there. And unfortunately, they didn't get to process as much as it probably should have. But also, for those of you who are looking to play the game, as we keep mentioning, tons of collectibles. So just to go over what a couple of them are.
Oh, man. So it takes a long time and there's collectibles? This sounds great. Mm-hmm. Let's continue to promote this game.
So if you're looking to play it, there are cars that you have to collect, and you collect the cars simply by stepping into them. There are film reels you have to collect. There are 50 of those scattered around Los Angeles. God. There are landmarks that you have to visit. There are 30 of those. There are, and there's one other thing, isn't there? What's the last one that I'm missing?
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, the street crimes. And there are 40 street crimes that you need to complete.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so there's a lot to do. And I think I had a lot of fun going back to the game. And if I didn't have a backlog that was hundreds of games deep, I probably would stick with it and try to get a few more of those done. But right now I'm just I think the next time I address L.A. Noire, it'll be to do the DLC. Now, Chewie.
Oh, that was what I was going to ask you about that. It's called The Naked City?
So ask Chewie, because he's 100% to the game, I hear, and he'll know more than I do. So tell us about the DLC, though. Like, is it kind of similarly structured? I know it integrates with the campaign if you already have it loaded.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember now. It's years ago. So each DLC pack is another case, basically, a standalone case that kind of slots into the existing narrative. So it's almost like cut content in a way. Like instead of doing 3 theft cases, you do 4. You do an extra one. I think they are just entirely standalone, and I don't think they're they're definitely not all that memorable because I cannot remember them. I think they're perfectly fine.
It's pretty bad. I think it's bad if you don't remember Naked City.
Yeah, I can't remember. No, I don't think anything. Maybe there was nudity.
There's nudity in other parts of the game anyway, but it's usually because you're looking at a dead body, so it's not exciting. Nudity.
Yeah. I remember there's a
naked dead bodies.
There's a sequence where you have to follow someone and they can't see you, and I remember that being annoying in one of the DLCs.
Oh, okay. There's an achievement like that in the main game as well, where they can't spot you and you cannot go into cover.
Yes.
So you kind of have to just stand behind trees, but remember not to go into cover.
All right. So I'm taking down notes here. So we have lots of collectibles, takes a long time, and now stealth game aspects.
Yes.
This is just really, y'all just really selling this game. I mean,
But you know what? It's somehow also a puzzle game, so totally cool by me.
Game of the year. Game of the
Absolutely.
decade, rather.
so,
I do remember the cars in particular being
Yes.
the real pain when it came to the collectibles. Because everything else you can follow a map or a guide, but with the cars, you have to just look for cars that you don't think you've been in before. And the problem is, in the 30s? Is it 1930s? 40s. Most cars look exactly the same. There's not much to differentiate them between one model and another. So it's just kind of potluck as to whether you get in a car and go, no, yeah, that's a new one.
Right, and the game already randomizes the colors of the car, so you may look at it in a guide that has pictures, and it's a green one in the guide, but you might find the blue version of it, and that's not two different cars. So it isn't easy. Now, that's a good one to bring up if anybody's looking for particular advice with collectibles. The TA walkthrough is very, very, very good if you're going through just for the campaign stuff. It does highlight one particularly difficult to get car that you should jump in during the course of the campaign, but it does not lay out, here are all the cars you should jump in and when. Xbox Achievements has a very thorough guide with many of the cars and pictures of the cars, and there's also not a glitch, but sort of a workaround to get many of the common cars that you can find there. It involves something with looking at the car. You can see all the cars by accessing a part of the menu in the main part of the game. So you look at the car that you want to find, you load into a particular mission, and then when you step out and you look up the block, that car should be coming down the block toward you.
It's coming back to me. It's coming back to me. Yes. So there's like a gallery, and you go into the gallery, you look at the car, then it loads in. Yeah.
Right. So this is...
Sounds dreadful.
It's a pain, but it is a way to not make it 100% happenstance. As I said, I think it only works for the common cars in the game, so it's not going to work for some of the trucks and things like that. Like there's a tow truck or something you have to jump into, but it will get a lot of those where exactly what Chewie's saying about how, they all kind of look the same. It helps with that part of it a little bit. Yep. But do you have any other questions about LA Noire before?
Well, let's see. After going through it, did you pick up any amazing skills that you use to track down rabble rousers who have not returned books to the library or any other petty larceny?
I'm really good at looking at their faces now for when they tell me about why they have overdue fines, and so when they do that, I sit there and I go doubt, and then they usually just look at me silly and I waive their fines anyway. So, but yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah, is that where that little meme comes from? Everyone seems to want to use
the Cole Phelps.
I saw that picture on your
SX to
tag, and I was like, "Hey, I've seen that guy before." And so, okay, there you go.
All right,
I did not know. Fantastic.
So, Elroy.
Oh man,
Elroy.
Yes.
Are you a prize Street Fighter now? How did that go for you? How did Fighter Uncaged go for you this month? What were your hashtag gains?
Oh, man. Let me tell you about some Fighters Uncaged. So, I basically started it this month, and I got 15 achievements worth 295, which, for the record, is more than 40. 295 Gamerscore. And it was worth a 1,225 TA.
Nice.
So, yeah. So,
nice.
Net gain, it's rocking about a 5 ratio there, I think.
Yeah.
If my math's right on that. And so, what did I accomplish? What did I do? I made it to the open league, baby.
You did.
Made it. I did it. I said that was my goal, and that is what I did. I made it to the open league. Now, I'm not going to, say that it was, all roses and just easy peasy or anything like that, because it most certainly was not. And I understand why the walkthrough says on the open league page, congratulations, only 3% of gamers have made it this far. And I understand that, because that is not easy to do. So I'm very proud of it. I actually got the achievement and I added it to a trophy case that I don't have set up. I saw a button that said add to trophy case. I don't know where it went, but so wherever my trophy case is on TA, there's probably one achievement in there, and it's the one for making it to Open League. So
all right, as you talk,
yeah.
I'm going to do this live. I'm going to find your trophy case, and
it's probably the only one. I don't think I've ever seen that button before. So yeah, that was pretty cool. But I was like, you know what? I think I will add that to my trophy case. I don't know what it is, but where it is, but
that is the only item in your trophy case. But it is there for everyone to see. It's there for everyone to see.
There it is.
Yep.
Is that a 1? Oh, it's a 1. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So so let me explain how you get this wonderful trophy. So you have to beat League 1 or the first league. So you work your way through League 3, and then once you get enough points, you go to League 2. Then you have to beat everyone up again, and then you go to League 1. Then you got to beat every freaking fighter in the game, and you got to do it very well because you have to get 720 points. That was so discouraging when I first pulled that up. I made it to League 1, and I saw 720 points, and I was like, oh, are you kidding me?
Wait, how many points did you have going in?
Well, it resets.
Oh,
it resets
so it
every time.
At 0. So,
yeah, it starts at 0.
Goodness.
So
and how many do you get per fight?
All right, so there's 12 fighters, and you get approximately, you get 1 point for every 10 points over 6,000. So 6,000 is kind of the baseline.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just eke by, let's say you just barely win, you're probably going to get scored like 8,000. And so that would be like 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to do really well. You have to beat everyone convincingly, and you have to get an average of around 12,000 points for the match, 11 to 12,000. So that is not easy, and it was very daunting because around time I hit League 1, I started losing a lot. I had a clean sheet all through the 3rd division. I lost a couple of ones in 2nd division, not really a lot, and then by the time I got to the 1st league, oh boy, it is not easy. They start fighting back a lot, and so I honestly didn't think 720 was going to happen. I almost quit 7 times. Like,
that's very specific.
I remember,
you have a specific memory.
Yes, I remember 7 times. I walked away, and I thought, you know what? I'm not going to come back here a loser. I told you I was going to make the League 1.
You did.
I am coming back a winner. So I stuck with it, and so I made myself a nice big pitcher of tea, unsweet of course, and I took my tea upstairs, and I got all hopped up on tea, and it kept me going. It just kept me going through the dark times.
I'm not going to lie. I misheard you and thought you said a big old picture of tea, like you blew up a picture of Mr. T to just intimidate and
No, that would be amazing there, man.
Next time.
That would be the other secret sauce, man. Yeah, Mr. T.
But go ahead.
Yeah. So I got through the first 2 fighters and everything, and then it came time. I hit Murderer's Row, man. Ratface, and Jawbreaker, and El Luchador, all 3 of them right in a row. They just started they put on a clinic, man. So they started I was not winning the match. If I won the match, I would win with a score of like 7,000, maybe 8,000, and that's not going to get me to the Open League. And so that was around the time where the 7 different instances came that I was like, this game sucks. I am so out of here. And I just stuck with it, and I decided I'd go to the other end because you don't have to fight them in order. So I went to the other end of the fighters and just started on the ones that were the alleged hardest ones and worked my way backwards. And I found them actually easier than these 3 jokers, man. They were... I don't know what was going on with him. And then also I implemented a little positive reinforcement, or maybe it's negative reinforcement. I always get confused about them. But anyway, I started losing a lot, and so I thought there's no consequence for my losing. And so I had to create a consequence. So anytime I lost, I started doing 40 push-ups. And so it was like, and so it was like, all right, so if you lose, you got to go down and do 40 push-ups, which actually was probably working against me because, this game, you can't like set up a fan. You actually got to try hard on this game. So I don't know, maybe it's just a bro thing. I don't know, but it worked for me. It worked. All right. So this 40 push-ups thing, I suggest a strategy to anybody that's having trouble with Rat Face, Jawbreaker, and El Luchador. Because once I started doing that, I only did about 3 sets, and then I just started winning, baby. I started winning everywhere. And so I threw down the match of my life against that Rat Fink son of a gun, and I got over 15,000 points in the match against him. Now, that bought me a lot of leeway because those extra 3,000 points, that helped raise a lot of averages up to 12,000. And so that was pretty much the clincher for me. And I got to know the fighters better. Like, I spent a lot of time with them. So the game still doesn't make sense. As to why we're fighting, apparently I'm doing it for my father. I don't know what happened to my father, but something happened to my father, and I'm doing it for him. And there's 12 fighters scattered across the city that has something to do with my father. But it didn't really make sense, but I really did enjoy it because I would have had a whole different tune if I hadn't made it to the Open League. But I made it to the Open League, and so I'm going to say I enjoyed it.
All right. I am very amused by the fact that Chewie and I are both as shocked and horrified about your 40 push-up routine as you are about 400 Gamerscore.
It actually worked though. It
makes me tired just thinking about it.
Yeah,
no, I'm ready for a nap right now.
Well, see, I chose 40 because it wasn't enough to tire me out too much, but it was more to kind of get me pumped up, right? Mm-hmm. And so I was, going to the next match, a little more pumped up. And I played this game for like 2 hours, and I don't think that the first league is supposed to be played start to finish in one go.
Probably not.
And like my arm, like I started using my arms more. I used to just kick the tar out of them, and but in my arm, like this tendon right in here, like right there where it connects. Yeah, I'm sure that that really helped all the audio. But it's like where your bicep meets your forearm, like from punching like constantly. Oh my gosh, like it was so sore. Like, so I played this for like 2 hours. My time was running out because Kelly and I, we had dance class that night. So I had to finish this game. So I was all like nasty for dance class. I was probably not the best dance partner because I had this thing, man. It got me all night. I was all sweaty at the end of this thing, and I don't know how much of that was the push-ups. I don't know how much of it was punching and kicking for 2 hours.
Just straight adrenaline from the whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then once I got it, man, I was so pumped. Man,
it's in your trophy case now.
It is. It is pretty awesome, man. It was great. But yeah, what questions do you have for me? I got lots of answers.
How is the tracking on that game? Because 360 Connect, sometimes good, sometimes not so.
All right, so here you go. Let me tell you, I threw this into the difficulties I experienced category. So the Kinect tracking, I thought it was good when I first started it, and then I quickly realized it really wasn't. There's something. The only thing it would recognize is when my cat would come walking in and start, jumping up on me, and like I guess it thought I was kicking when the cat was walking by because it was down in that area. I don't know, and so it would track my cat just fine. But for me, it wouldn't. Like, there's a lot to this game. There's a lot of moves that I'm sure that are great and everything. Because if you look at the walkthrough, they give you like, I don't know, like. Well, there's different commands that you're supposed to do. Like, you're supposed to be able to duck and punch. You're supposed to be able to sweep and all that. I couldn't do any of that stuff. And so I had to, like, figure out what I could do and use that to my advantage. So, like, the only thing that I could do was duck back. Like, so every time they're punching, like, I'm just, like, rearing back. My back was a little sore the next day, too, because I was, like rearing back every time I saw the little blue on the screen, that there's like this little blue flash when they're about to attack, I would like duck back. And then the other thing they does is they'll kick you, and all you have to do is raise the knee on that side. So it would track my knees, and it would track me leaning back pretty good. Mm-hmm. And so I adopted like a defensive mantra. I basically would not attack until they attacked me. So basically they swing, I duck, I punch. And so they swing, I duck, I punch. well, not duck, but a dodge, I guess. I leaned back. And so even amazed, that actually got me all the way through the second league and through part of the first league. That's all you really have to do. But there's a few opponents you have to change it up a lot. And I don't know, the walkthrough for this game and like a lot of the guides for it, I don't want to say that it's misinformation, but I don't know. It's kind of some bull shakalaka, if you will.
I think a lot of Connect stuff is your mileage may vary. Depends on the space you have and the lighting in your place, and if you have cats running through your play space. So things that may work don't necessarily work universally.
Yeah. Well, for example, there El Luchador is no joke, man. That guy, he's tough. And so the walkthrough says this. It says, he is hard, and you might not be able to defeat him in time all the time. Super strike, punch, and knee right after that. So there you go. That's how you beat him. Now, like, that's only about 3% of the fight. So what do you do in the other 97%? Right. You just get destroyed. And then another one that says, just straight punch him repeatedly all the time, left, right, left, and so on. And that, no, that's not going to happen. So, I mean, if that was as easy it was, that's how I beat all the first league. I mean, I just out hustled them, man. I was just punching. I was just get up there. I was like a wild man. I was kicking. I was kicking mostly, but I was punching and kicking. I was just going crazy at it. And so that doesn't quite work. It's kind of like the, I don't know, their advice on how to win kind of makes me think of like, well, that advice sounded like you were fighting Glass Joe off of Mike Tyson's Punch Out. You know, left, right. You know, wait for him to talk and then punch him in the jaw or something. You know, so it's not that simple. Right. You know, like it was a little more.
Did you ever think to try crotch cocaine?
I did once, man. I threw some crotch cocaine. The Jackal ate some crotch cocaine, man. I threw some crotch cocaine at the Jackal, and he's the one you're supposed to do that to. And I've only done it once so far, but now I get to fight him 20 more times, and so I plan to. He's gonna have a bad experience when he fights me. Now, he's not gonna.
Speaking of fighting him 20 more times, do you see yourself going back to Fires Uncaged? Are you ready to leave that one behind?
Oh no! I am so going back because I got the hard part out of the way. Why would I stop now? Like you live to get to this point. Like I mentioned, only 3% of gamers get to this point, right?
Right.
And so
now, can you preload any of this for G-Tasked?
Oh no! Yeah. Oh yes, I can.
Oh,
so,
okay.
So yes,
are you hearing this, Chewie?
You have. Let me tell you, you've just got to the root of things, because here's how it works. So once you get to the open league, you can actually pop all the 20 fight achievements. So you could pop all the 20 fights inside the leagues, but there's this whole other list of achievements that you get for only in open league. So for example, I think last time we talked, I had beat the biker dude 20 times, but there's another achievement for beating him 20 times in open league. And so the walkthrough says, wait till you get to open league to grind out these fights, which I didn't read in a timely fashion. But after I read that, I decided to follow their advice. But since only 3% of the gamers get to this point, all of these 20 fight ones have very nice ratios. And so there is basically, anytime I'm going to beat, there's 12 of these people. Now, one of them already beat, got half of it because I went ahead and beat the fat biker dude 20 times. But for the other 11, you're basically looking at 300 to 400 TA for each of those 20 fights. So it's probably going to take less, 1 to 2 hours for 20 fights. So any 1 to 2 hours, I could pretty much drop 400 TA 11 times. So then there's some added TA that you get. There's like another 500 points you get for beating everyone twice. There's another one for beating 20, or 40 fights against small guys, 40 fights against medium guys. I already popped the fat one. And so there's about 5K that I am looking at just in TA from just, finishing this game off. So most def I am going back, because I already know how to beat everyone. I'm probably gonna start keeping a little tally.
Mhm.
And I don't know how many times I beat him in the league, but I definitely know how many times, I can start counting for how many times in the open league. And then if I need, 200, 300 points, I can just knock it out real quick.
Right. Get them all to go ahead, Chewie.
Well, I see one of the ones you need is to blind your opponent 20 times. So you will need a bit more crotch cocaine for that.
Yeah. I've only done it once, but the Jackal, man, he's going to eat that crotch cocaine, man. It is going right in his eye hole, man.
The achievement is called "That's an Eyeful." So there you go.
Right.
But I don't know if that's the cocaine or the crotch that we're talking about.
Well, Elroy will tell us about that once he wraps that game up.
Oh, that is on my list. I am going to get the crotch cocaine one, and that's most definitely going to be on my list. So,
right. Any other parting thoughts about January before we move on to February? We'll briefly go over what we're expecting to do for the next month.
Oh, I have one more tip for everyone on this game. So, learn the rules of the game. I didn't start doing that until the League One. So, it's important to know how you're graded on this game. So, you get points based on averaging the 2 wins that you have. See, I thought it was just the last win, and so I was like, why am I getting such low points? And I finally figured out that it was taking my 2 wins and averaging it together. So if you're playing this game, make sure that you understand that part. It's kind of important. And then the other thing is the super strike bar. I don't know how you're supposed to activate it. I just know that if you just flail your arms a lot, it'll happen. So just, start punching crazy when you get the full lightning on the purple, and it'll hit them every time. It doesn't matter. They can't block it. So once I figured that out, that's what the little purple bar was, it made it a lot easier too, because you can, finish them off if need be and everything. So, so kind of figure out the rules of this game. There you go. I meant to mention that.
Awesome.
There you go.
So let's move on to February. I guess we'll kind of just go through quickly where we're at in our games and what games we chose, because I know we're already kind of an hour deep, so I don't know that we want to put out a 4-hour show this week, or we're not quite an hour deep, but so we'll be a little more brief about our February games. So Chewie, we're back around to you. What game are you going to play in February?
So I let the RTDL gods decide what I was going to play for February.
Ooh, that's dangerous.
Yes, and it actually gave me about 5 or 6 different non-backwards compatible games to choose from. But I have chosen Max Payne 3.
Very nice.
Bum, bum, bum.
Very nice. Now, have you played the previous Max Paynes, also in standard definition like the previous Tony Hawk's?
Yes, I have. So Max Payne 1 and Max Payne 2 I played on PC back in the day. Loved them both, thought they were great. Was really looking forward to Max Payne 3 and never played it.
Now you did you just bean dive it? Because you do have 1 achievement for 5 Gamerscore and 10 TA, so you already have a 2 ratio in the game.
Yeah, so I really don't know what happened. I
just
was
showed
really
up one
looking
day.
forward to it. It got critically acclaimed. People loved it. Bean dived it back in 2013, so a long time ago. And never went back to it. Never touched it since. I'm really looking forward to playing the story primarily for that one, because I think that's really what it's all about for me.
Okay, so because the game has, first of all, it has a 200 plus hour completion estimate.
I was going to mention that. Yeah.
I have no idea why.
I assume multiplayer. I think the multiplayer is quite a big part of it.
Okay. And that was my second question, actually, was with regard to the multiplayer. Like, you're not really going to touch that. You're just going to kind of stick with the campaign stuff.
So, priority campaign. Get that story done. If I can get some AH101 community members to get together and do some boosting at Euro-friendly times, then I would love to try some of the multiplayer, see what I can get. I have all of the DLC, which is mostly multiplayer focused anyway. Mm-hmm. So it would be nice to get as much of it as possible, but that will require some planning.
Because I see you do the random to-do list, which, in case you haven't been listening to this independent of other things somehow, random to-do list is a monthly competition where you are assigned 25 random achievements from your pool of unlocked achievements to earn during the month. And I see that you have yours in scavenger hunt mode.
Yes.
Which means that you can't see the achievements.
Nope.
You can only kind of guesstimate what they may be based on their placement in the list because it's listed by ratio.
Yes.
So Max Payne 3 is about where on your list of achievements this month?
I am also on easy mode, I should say.
Oh, okay.
Based on what I think it will be around about 2 or below ratio.
Okay. So it might not be that bad. Could be deep in the game or a collectible or something.
I was looking at the achievements for this game. I don't know anything about this game, but let me just say that I'm in love with the achievements for this game. If you pull up the list, I mean, just right out of the gate, the first 4 just really speak to me. The feel the pain, serious pain, maximum pain, and pain in the ass. The icon, if you will. Now, I was looking at the icon, and for those of you that are the uninitiated ones, the icon is basically a flexed bicep. Now, feel the pain is for completing the story on medium, and it's all right. Pretty decent looking bicep there, but then serious pain is where you're starting to get somewhere, and that is nice look. I mean, it is some gains there for sure. Now, my question is I mean, pain in the ass, I see definitely the change there, but I don't really see the difference in gains between serious pain and maximum pain. Now, can you confirm or deny that is the same arm?
I think maybe there's a bit more bulge.
Is there?
Yeah, maybe.
So
I don't know. I'm not used to comparing bulges.
It looks like the 2 achievements are for a similar difficulty mode. It's just that the maximum pain has like an extra modifier for it to play with a different option on. So they're both hard mode, which is why they both look similar, I imagine. Now, Chewie, when you go to play this, is your plan to like go through and get the maximum pain flex?
Or golly, no.
Yeah,
no.
Which bulge are you going for?
I'm mainlining it on medium and keeping it nice and easy. I want to enjoy the game, make the most of it, and not hate myself.
Is there a guide you're going to be following, or are you going to just whatever you get naturally as you play through, you get? I
am going to check through to see if there's anything I might miss along the way. I don't think there are any collectibles or anything. I might be wrong.
I don't see any on a quick scan of the list. Oh, no, there are a couple collectibles, but they're not missable.
Clues.
Yeah.
I'll probably keep an eye on a guide for that stuff. I'll use every weapon as well, so... Yeah, from a story perspective, no, but from a collectibles and missables perspective, I'll probably have a guide open just to keep track. Because I do like to try and get that stuff be as efficient as possible.
All right. Max Payne 3 was one of the games I had listed in my my blog for the year, so I will be getting to it at some point. So I look forward to hearing your thoughts about it at the end of the month.
So you've already made a start on it, have you?
I just did multiplayer. So everything I have in the game right now is just one multiplayer boosting session I did back in, 2015. So I don't really have any experience with the game. I have not played the single player. I want to say I tried the single player campaign at PAX East one year, maybe. I have not played a Max Payne game. I watched my brother play Max Payne, but when we were significantly younger. But other than that, I don't have experience with it. So kind of got swept up in the hype of it being a big new shiny thing and picked it up at some point when it was on sale significantly and other people had wanted to boost it.
Yeah.
Is the game set in New York City?
So I think the first one or two.
I mean, I'm an honest question. I gotta say, I honestly don't know where this game is set at.
I feel like it goes to Latin America somewhere.
I thought I read it.
He's like a bodyguard looking after some. I can't remember.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea.
So South America. Let's just say South America. Okay, so my question for you is this. So Max Payne, I mean, obviously it's a really cool name. I mean, Max Payne. I mean, it's awesome.
Wait.
I like it.
My apologies for the interruption.
What?
I just confirmed it takes place in Sao Paulo, Brazil, so it is South America. Okay.
Oh wow, look at you. Okay, it's not New York City. Okay,
The previous games did take place in New York City. That's where the early.
Oh, okay. See, I don't know, crazy there. All right, so South America, you got Max Payne. Now, I did some research, and there's a character in the Tekken series whose name is Martial Law. Now, if Max Payne and Martial Law were to meet up in a neutral place, so somewhere outside of Sao Paulo and somewhere in Japan, so let's just say, I don't know, somewhere in Europe somewhere, let's just say they both meet up in a neutral place and they both enter a bar and there's a conversation as to who has the cooler name, who would win?
I think we should leave that to a Discord vote. We'll make that happen.
I'm currently looking up. I think Ace Attorney would come in and win it for both of them.
Oh man, Martial Law, Max Payne. I don't know.
Very cool.
Crazy.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to that game. The one thing about the first two is the atmosphere. They're just so atmospheric, very cool, very noir. Not LA noir. So I'm hoping the third one kind of reflects that. And it's a shame because it's pretty much the only Rockstar game that is not backwards compatible.
Well, LA Noire, but it's been remastered.
But it's been remastered, yeah.
I guess it
not playable on the one, should I say.
Right, correct. All right. So in February, because there's so many other gaming competitions and things like that going on, I'm participating in Better Completions Matter, where you're partnered up with somebody and you have to try to complete the same games during the month. And of course, there's also a random to-do list, as well as just other things going on. I wanted to pick a game that had no multiplayer and that kind of just had a centered campaign, and that's where most of the things happened. So in going down my list, I decided to pick Lollipop Chainsaw. Yeah, I know. So
perfect.
I have one achievement in the game so far for 15 Gamerscore and 15 TA. It's a very early on achievement that you get that I remember nothing about. I picked up this game because there was a time in my life where I really just loved everything with that kind of off-centered Japanese aesthetic. So why not? The game had a good pedigree. I remember again playing it at a PAX East some time around near its release, but I just never got back around to it, and this seemed as good an excuse as any. And the RTDL gods came through for me too, because I got 3 achievements in this game on my random to-do list. So I've got some work to do.
Are you in scavenger hunt mode as well?
I am not. No, I did that for a month or two, and it was fun. But I don't have the time to like I think Freem really goes through and looks at all of his lists and cross references which ratios have what. I just don't have the time. So I know exactly which 3 achievements I need, and I am going to try to get the 3 of them during this month. I have gone back and forth on my approach for the month. I thought I was just going to go in and just play naturally and get what I can. I did take a look at the walkthrough, and it recommends playing on the hardest difficulty first because, like everyone who writes these walkthroughs alleges, the hard difficulty isn't really that hard. You just have to be more patient. So I'm going to start on the hard difficulty and see how long it takes me to become impatient. And after about 15 minutes, I'll switch back down to the easy difficulty, and I'm just going to play it naturally. But I think the game has quite a few collectibles throughout, so I probably will use a guide just to make sure I grab all that stuff.
I think you have to make sure you save everybody along the way. I think is the main thing.
Oh, she's already done that. Your Chivo was for rescuing all the classmates in the prologue. So there you go.
Well, I guess you have to do that in every mission throughout. So I did it in the short little prologue bit. So got a lot more to do.
You saved them all, and then you just turned it off.
Yep.
And you're just like, I'm good.
And I hope they're okay. All these years later.
Yeah,
I'll find out.
Right on. They may not recognize you, but so for those who haven't played this game, why don't you give us an overview of it? Because I really think it's a game that sells itself on the whole premise of it all.
I probably should have looked up a description of it before recording so I could tell you, because I'm guessing you're asking me that because you read a description of it somewhere, and that description.
No, I maybe what I think the game is about is not what it's actually about, but to me it seemed kind of funny, the whole thing. But I don't know.
I'm trying to think about what I remember before I actually look up the description somewhere. I know you play like a high schooler.
A boyfriend's head.
Oh my gosh!
You
know.
Oh my
Go
goodness.
ahead, Chewie. If you have an idea, go for it.
Well,
I really.
Yeah, it's your classic zombie apocalypse in a high school scenario, but with a
typical. That is so typical.
Yeah, with a Romeo and Juliet vibe. Although Romeo happens to be a decapitated head, the boyfriend of Juliet, who is the protagonist, and she is an ass-kicking, zombie-slaying cheerleader with a crazy family. I think it's still not a sport. I think it's got a lot of stuff to do with music. I think punk kind of rock has a kind of a punk rock vibe about it. It's pretty nuts. Yeah. I did notice you dived the game, but you didn't dive the game with the most diveable achievement, which is quite memorable.
I think that achievement was actually one of the achievements of the decade for most memorable, if I recall correctly. So the achievement in question is called, what's it called? I swear I didn't mean to, or I didn't mean to do that. I swear something like that.
I swear I did it by mistake.
I swear I did it by mistake. And the achievement is essentially for looking up the character's skirt, Juliet's skirt. You just turn the camera. And I actually do have a goal to finish the game with that achievement.
Nice.
So I'm curious if you can get through the game without popping it, because at some point you're going to turn the camera and that's just going to happen.
Yeah.
But I'm curious if you can. So
speaking as someone who has already had a peek, I believe that you have to hold it for long enough for her to notice you looking for it to pop.
That sounds... So the game is developed by Suda51, who also did Shadows of the Damned. He's known for doing these sort of offbeat games.
Yeah.
And he has a very particular method to him and approach. So it is unsurprising to hear that it involves sort of breaking the fourth wall to actually trigger the achievement.
Yes.
But
politically
that's
incorrect as well. Very
very politically incorrect. So all that aside, obviously there's an understanding that it can turn some people off from the game because of those sorts of things. But I'm hoping the gameplay is fun and all that stuff, and take the game kind of what it is.
Sounds like it'll turn some people on as well.
Oh. Well, that's all I have to say about Lollipop Chainsaw. But Elroy, it seems like you may have picked a game to take on in February that you actually have started already.
Yeah, I thought I'd try a novel approach. I have chose Hasbro Family Game Night 3, I believe it is. I didn't write that number down, but I believe it's 3. And I have currently 6 achievements worth 100 Gamerscore, which is more than 40. And it is 167 TA. And I chose it because, I don't know, I kind of like these games. I play some tabletop games, and all these games are kind of the old school generation. There's all that stuff nowadays. There's all kinds of stuff out there, and they're all making games out of all of them too. Pandemic and Ticket to Ride and all those things. But these are like the old school ones, and so I bought this game thinking, well, it's not too difficult. There's a decent TA to be gotten there for those purposes and everything, and it's not too terribly time consuming, and so I thought I'd take a flyer on it. And also a big selling point was that Clue was in it. Now Clue is my favorite now. I played the hell out of some Clue in the day. Like we used to, that was the family game. Like we get together as a family and we play it. We got so good at that stupid game. Well, we had we would sit down literally and play, and we'd have it solved by like the 4th turn. And it was just stupid. We got too good at it. And so we finally stopped playing it because it was not even challenging anymore. And so, I'm anxious to go back and see what the Clue achievements are, because it's, it's kind of my jam there.
Yeah.
So
Chewie, is Cluedo?
Cluedo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder
well, actually, when I was over in Europe last time, that was around the time that we were really big into Clue. So actually, I bought Cluedo over there, And I thought that would be the perfect souvenir for us. And so we have Cluedo. We don't actually have Clue in our house. We have Cluedo, and we don't understand. Like, it's confusing when we actually play it because nobody knows which weapon is which because they're all written in German. Maybe the one you have isn't in German, but I'm not sure I'm painting the picture here, but someone shows you the card for it. You ask, hey, do you have the rope? And then they show you the card for it, and you don't know on your sheet what the hell that card is. You're like, what? Because it has it written. There's not a picture of a rope on your little, notes. And so we have to remember to write down a cheat sheet for what weapon is which. And then there's an added element because some of them are obvious. So then someone shows you the card, you're trying not to look at the cheat sheet because if you look at the cheat sheet, that narrows down which one it probably is, unless you're bluffing because I forget which one of it, like the revolvers, the pistole or something like that. I mean, it's something obvious like that. And I forget which ones are obvious, but there's like 4 or 5, like the candlestick's a nightmare in German. I forget what it's called, but there's like 3 or 4 you have no idea what the hell it is. And so if you're looking at the sheet, you're like, well, obviously it didn't show them the gun, and so it has an element. So yeah, I have Cluedo in my house, man.
Okay.
Nice.
So,
have you seen the movie? Tim Curry.
Oh man, love
that movie is so brilliant. Yeah. That's a movie I've seen.
So
you found one.
Man, look at you.
So other than the Clue games, what else are you hoping to do with this? Because I have this one too, and it's actually in my random to-do list. So I'm curious, what are you looking to do this month? Because I'll be playing it a little bit as well.
Well, I'm looking to do everything besides Yahtzee. Like, I've never played Yahtzee in my life. I don't even know really what I kind of looked up something about it one time, and it sounded like zombie dice to me. I don't know if y'all ever played zombie dice.
No,
it kind of sounded like zombie dice, and but I don't know much about it.
Have you
pretty
played?
Good.
Yeah, you've played Chewie. Have you played? Because this is not Yahtzee like traditional Yahtzee with dice. This is Yahtzee hands down, which is slightly different. So in Yahtzee hands down, it's almost more like a card game, and I'm probably going to explain this a little bit wrong, but you'll have 3 cards that have typical poker hands, like pair, 3-pair, or full house. And what you're trying to do is get your hand to match one of those 3 and grab it before the other players do. And then each one's worth a certain amount of points based on the difficulty to get there. So if you have 2-pair right away, you may want to just get the 2-pair to get the guaranteed points, or you could take the risk and not claim that card and keep trying to work toward a full house. It's a little different from traditional
sounds complicated
die rolling Yahtzee. A lot of the games in Family Game Night, understandably, are very luck based. So they're sometimes, and I think they have short versions, but even the short versions of the game take a while to play. And many of them have just play and complete this game 10 times, which you can do, but it's just a little bit.
Can't you do it with a second controller and make it really speed that up?
Yes, absolutely.
That's what I plan on doing.
So there are ways to make the game more effective, but it's still going to take a little while to get through the majority of it.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get the completion on it because like I started with Twister and I was playing it kind of I played it pretty straight through on Twister. I thought, well, I'll just knock out this game and then I'll move on to the next game.
Wait. How do you play Twister without a Connect?
It's basically like Guitar Hero kind of a thing. It's basically you're just like. Yeah, you're just like hitting X, you hit Y, and then Mr. Potato Head's spinning around doing like all these little disco moves, and I don't know. It's not quite as exciting as an actual Twister board, but yeah. So but I couldn't even get one of them. There's one it's called I Make This Look Good, and it has a lowly 1.39 ratio for getting a perfect beat timing with freestyling in original Twister, which means like there's like 9 buttons in a row you have to hit really fast, and I couldn't even get that one. And so I can't even get a 1.39 ratio achievement. I don't know what my chances are to actually get a completion on this thing, but maybe I was just not feeling it that night, or maybe it's because I have no rhythm at all. I mean, that could be it too.
Ask Kelly to help you out with that one. Maybe she can.
Oh, you are onto something there. Yeah, but the game's at 2.13 ratio. So if I can't get the 1.39, I don't know. We'll see.
All right.
But so I need to set a goal though for myself. That way, if I start slacking, I can knock out some push-ups. So let's see what would be my goal here. I'm gonna say I'm gonna go for the gentleman's 820.
Oh
right.
Wow! Okay.
Yep. So we'll see how that goes. I'm 100 right now, so just got to do a lot more than that. That's all. Just a little bit more.
You'll get it. I have faith in you. Or you'll have done like
you.
4 million push-ups this month, and you'll be a pain in the ass jacked as opposed to regular jacked.
As opposed to one of the other ones. There you go. I like it. Sweet.
So now that we've tied that all together, any other final thoughts insofar as your non-backwards compatible challenges?
No, I mean, I think I enjoyed having the Wookiee on, man. The Wookiee brought a Wookiee presence here.
Even though it's 11:30 in the evening and I'm falling asleep.
All right, well, we're gonna wrap this up now. Any final thoughts, Chewie? Thank you so much for joining us. By the way, it was a pleasure to have you on.
I really enjoyed it. I look forward to hopefully catching you next month.
All right, sounds good.
Awesome.
So, any other thoughts, Elroy?
No.
All right. Awesome. So thank you very much, everyone, for listening. We're going to do this again, hopefully, for the episode in the first week of March, recapping our Februaries and introducing our March games. If any other...
I just had a thought. Thanks to Mario for his little clip, too.
Yes, and big thanks to Mario for his clip. And if anyone else would like to either send a clip to us or send a little testimonial about what they did during the month, please feel free to do that. The best way to get in touch with us is on our Discord, which you can find at discord.io/AH101. Thank you very much for listening, everyone.
Hello there, I'm ChewieOnIce and welcome to the first episode of Chewie's Challenge Championship. Each month we're going to have new challenges issued by AH101 staffers and patrons to fellow community members, and we'll hear the results of the previous month's challenges. We'll also have special guests and blow-by-blow roundups of some of the matches. Challenges can be pretty much maybe almost anything, from scoring the most in a month to hitting a milestone or completing a game first, or even other AH101 related challenges like getting the most unlocks in RTDL or being the first to complete a gamertag challenge. For the inaugural episode we've got a handful of challenges that have been issued and a special Battle Royale match to determine who will be the first championship belt holder. Any subsequent challenges against the belt holder will be for the title. To get things started, let's go across to Chewie to hear how the Championship Belt Battle Royale goes down. Thanks, Chewie. We've got 8 excellent competitors here battling it out for the belt. The challenge this time around is for most Gamerscore earned in the month of January. Before we get going, let's meet the competitors. First up, we have the mouth from the south, Elroy OMJ, and his young brethren, Rawker dude. He might be old, but he knows how to spend his gold. It's the Moose Man, Kooshmoose. Here comes Panda Lover and Throat Shredder, Exe the Hero. Next up, the man who carries us all, the Angel, Wakapeil. He's white as a sheet, and he rarely completes games, FufuCuddilyPoof. She might be a lady, but she earns as hard as any man. It's Matrarch. Finally, why do we even keep him around? It's the troll who thinks he's droll, Big L. Now I want a nice clean fight. Preloads and console commands are acceptable, but no hacking or account sharing. Whoever earns the most Gamerscore wins. Here we go. Waka's kicking things off with a double stack of Age of Empires, along with a PC stack of Batman Arkham Asylum. He means business. Fufu looks like he's trying to one-up Waka by laying out Age of Empires 2, but the score on that isn't looking pretty. L is laughing at Fufu's paltry efforts and is throwing out some Plants vs. Zombies and Doom and Destiny. And, oh the audacity, now he's just dancing around Fufu. Fufu looks like he's panicking. He throws down Pixel Gladiator, but it doesn't do much for him. Now he's pulled out Crash Team Racing. Can that save him? And wait, what's this? He's jumped into Cortex's cart and he's driving. He's driving out the ring. He's leaving the building. Fufu has ghosted us. And he's out with just 2,435 Gamerscore. Rawker and Exe are both being carried with human fall flat by Waka, but he's already completed it. He's helping them at the expense of his own score. It's that kind of selflessness that makes him Angel Waka, but it's only going to harm him in the long run. Meanwhile, Matrarch and L appear to have teamed up, as expected, and are busy scribbling out Heimrich together. But Waka is honking at L with Untitled Goose Game. L's distracted, leaving Matrarch to pull out Hellblade all on her own. Koosh spots Matrarch grappling with Senua and takes advantage. He's laying down a pair of movie tie-ins with Zombieland and G.I. Joe. Matrarch is yelling doubt at Koosh with L.A. Noire, but will it be enough to save her? It doesn't look like it, as Koosh has set Captain Cat and the Children of Mortar on her. Oh, and she's down. Matrarch has been eliminated with 3,755 Gamerscore. L is furious at his partner being taken down and has turned his attentions to Koosh. He's willing to do anything to take him down. But will he do the unthinkable? Will he go against his own principles? Of course he will. Avatar is out. Avatar is sending Koosh scrambling. Now L's getting greedy and he's turning his attention to Waka, who's pretending to be Master Chief with Halo Master Chief Collection. But watch out, L. Koosh isn't out yet. Koosh is planning something devious of his own. He's trying to get games for Windows Live working, while Waka lays out Pumped BMX Pro and Griffin Knight 2 to defend himself. L is using Heroes Trials to counter, but it looks like Koosh has got games for Windows Live working, and he's booting up Fallout 3. The console commands are up. L doesn't know what's hit him. He's out. L is out with 5,790 Gamerscore. Koosh appears to be running dry, and he's regrouping by trying to go indivisible so the others don't notice him. But Elroy is trying to take him down with the 1-2 pinball punch of Zachariah Pinball and Demon's Tilt. Koosh just can't seem to handle Elroy's balls, and he's tumbled into the gutter. Elroy and Rawker have now teamed up to finish the job, and both give Koosh a double helping of Worm's WMD to eliminate him with 8,395 Gamerscore. How do you even deworm a moose? In an unexpected turn of events, the southern wildlife hunters Elroy and Rawker appear to have teamed up with X, and it looks like they're planning something. Something big. Waka's being backed into a corner. Rawker's reaching for something. Wait, all three of them are going for it too. Oh jeez. It's a three-way easy score dump. Games are flying out from these maniacs. Elena Temple, Murder Miners, Foxyland 2, Aladdin and Lion King. Without escape, there are so many games being thrown out I can't even keep up. Waka is getting buried by them. He's up to his neck. Music Racer, Far Out, Lake Ridden, Milo's Quest. This is insanity. Waka's trying to save himself. He's throwing out Foxyland 2, Your Toy, Post-War Dreams, and Inferno 2+. But it's not enough. He's desperate. He's doing it. Outcome, Wonder Song, and Rememoried. The other three have paused to see what he's planning. Is he going legit or... No, he's done it. He's exploited both games to try and save himself. Is it going to be enough, though? The other three are looking at him. X is... He's laughing. He's laughing maniacally. They're all laughing maniacally. It looks like they're planning a little exploit of their own. Each of them have pulled out Subnautica, and they're drowning Waka with console commands. Angel Waka is out. He is done with 17,865 Gamerscore. We're down to the final dastardly three, and what's this? Elroy. He's lying on the mat. Is this it for Elroy? Rawker's going over to make sure he's okay, but Elroy's reaching for something. It's Kung Fu Panda. He was just playing possum, and now he's turned on his teammate. Rawker is scrambling for something to help him, but all he can pull out is Woodle Tree Adventures? Oh, that's no good. Elroy is channeling the power of the great Dragon Warrior. His fight is uncaged. And that's it. Rawker has been eliminated with 22,286 Gamerscore. And he is not happy with Elroy for his betrayal. They're busy arguing, and X is sneaking up behind Elroy with something big. He's hitting him. He's hitting him with Minecraft. More Minecraft. Even more Minecraft. And yet more Minecraft. How much Minecraft does this man have? Elroy is scrambling with Royal Roads and L in the game, but X is decimating him with an 8-deep Minecraft stack. Elroy's on the ropes, and X is getting ready to deliver the killing blow. He's aiming at Elroy with demons with shotguns, and it looks like that's all she wrote. But wait, Elroy's pulling out some nightmares from the Deep 3, and he's sending X straight down to Davy Jones' locker. In a shocking turn of events, X has been eliminated on the cusp of victory with 28,445 Gamerscore. And with that, Elroy is our first championship belt holder with 28,510 Gamerscore. In the end, there was only 55 Gamerscore in it. Wow, that was a close one. Over to you, Chewie in the studio. Thanks, Chewie. That really was a thing. Now we're going to announce the challenges for February. First up, Big L wishes to challenge his fellow co-hosts to complete the most games in February. But rather than just a 4-way fight, he's teaming up with Kooshmoose to go against Rawker and Fufu in a tag team battle of olds versus youngs. Our next challenger is pretty patron Petart, who is challenging the ghost host himself, FufuCuddilyPoof, to complete the most games in the month. With L also challenging Fufu to complete games, Fufu's really going to have to pull it out if he hopes to succeed against both L and Petart. Next up, we have another patron. J Black is challenging Hatton90 to have the highest TAD. For those who don't know, that's True Achievement Difference, which is derived from taking away your gamer score from your True Achievement score. Although both J Black and Hatton have been eliminated from the individual G-task, J Black would like to see Hatton competing with him to still earn that TAD. The next challenger is one handsome Wookiee. It's ChewieOnIce. Oh wait, that's me. I'm challenging patrons High Road V2 and Facial Lafleur in a 3-way battle for Achievements 1. Finally, we have a challenger for Elroy's championship belt. Unsurprisingly, Rawker Dude is rather upset at Elroy's deceit and deception in the Battle Royale, and he's challenging his former partner to go outside and fly a kite. Whoever is the first to complete Stunt Kite Party in February wins the belt. That's all for now, folks. Join us next month to hear the results of those challenges and to hear if Rawker is able to prize the championship belt from Elroy. If you're a staffer or a patron and want to issue a challenge for March, just let me know on Discord or TA. I'm ChewieOnIce, and this has been Chewie's Challenge Championship.
Hey again, everybody. X back with another gentleman's review, and this time I'm talking about Far Dash Out. I assume you don't pronounce the dash, but it's in the title, so I'm not sure if it's like Far Out, or maybe it is Far Dash Out, but whatever. This game came out on January 17th for $14.99, and it's just a walking simulator, to be honest. That's what it boils down to. But there is a small puzzle aspect, which most walking sims have. Without spoiling the story, you start off the game, you wake up from a cryogenic sleep on a ship in space, and you need to save yourself. And there's a few ways that you can accomplish that. To be specific, there are 3 different ways to accomplish that for 3 different endings, but I'll talk about those in a couple minutes. I mentioned there's a puzzle aspect, but it's nothing crazy. It's the typical stuff we've come to expect from games like these. Tacoma, The Park, Assemblance, The Station, Rise of Insanity. Games like that. You have to go around, you have to explore. Maybe there's like a combo lock, and you have to, find someone's journal with the combo in it. Just things like that. Nothing gonna make you lose your mind, but a decent challenge if you are up for the exploration. Alternatively, the puzzles don't change across playthroughs, so you can just follow a guide and eliminate any sense of challenge, which is admittedly what I did. Womp, womp, womp. With a guide, you can very easily complete this game in under an hour. Without a guide, maybe 3-4 hours. The game, it's a big map, and there are some tricky puzzles, but they're not hard, like I said. So maybe 3-4 hours if you go in blind. What I do like about the game, though, is that you still get the whole story, even if you do follow a guide and you don't actually solve the puzzles. In some of the other games I mentioned, the story is tied to solving the puzzles, so you miss out on a lot of it if you follow the guide. That's a plus for me in this one, because I enjoyed this story. And while I like my easy games, I enjoy getting the most out of them. And I don't want to say it's a unique or groundbreaking story, but it was well done for what it is. Other than that, though, if you have played a walking simulator, you know what you're getting into. So as far as gameplay goes, there's nothing new brought to the table. So I did mention that there are 3 endings with achievements tied to each, and that you can get your 1,000 points in under an hour with a guide. There's potentially an asterisk that goes with that. I assume 99% of people will get their 1,000 points in under an hour if they use the guide, but there is one luck-based achievement that could potentially give you a run for your money. Early on in the game, your ship has the chance to catch on fire. For me, it happened on 2 of my 3 playthroughs for 2 of the 3 endings. But from reading some comments on TA, some people had it happen 8 or 9 times in a row and were getting frustrated that they couldn't, if you'll excuse the double negative, couldn't not have the ship catch on fire. There's an achievement for beating the game without having it happen. I was lucky, and on my very first run, the ship did not catch on fire, so I got that one out of the way on my first run. But then it did happen on both subsequent playthroughs, so for me, it has, a 2 out of 3 chance of happening. Since it is luck-based, you might be one of the unlucky ones, and you might have to go through multiple times before you don't have your ship catch on fire. The plus side, if you are unlucky, is that it's quite early on, so if you're trying to get the fire to not happen, restarting only sets you back a couple minutes each run. So, even if you're super unlucky and you do get 8 or 9 fires in a row, you're only looking, you've only wasted 20 minutes, ultimately, not the end of the world. And you can probably still get it done in under an hour, but it'll be on the high end of an hour instead of, 32 minutes like my completion was. I think, 32 minutes. Don't quote me on that. 32 minutes. We'll go with that. Very quick is my point here. But the whole fire aspect of the game is weird, if I can go on a slight tangent, because the story overall, it's pretty serious in tone, but this fire, it is not serious in tone. Your ship politely tells you, there's a fire on board, go put it out. But it's apparently not a big deal. There's no sense of urgency. You can pretty much wander the ship aimlessly while this supposedly very dangerous fire just burns aboard your ship. It never spreads, it never grows, it's just there. It's just a minor inconvenience. I don't know anything about space travel, but I feel like having a fire in a pressurized environment would probably be catastrophic and should be something that you deal with immediately, like a burning house or a burning car or burning food or a burning crotch. But what do I know? Apparently fire on a spaceship is nothing to be concerned about. But anyways, the game worth a purchase is the big question. I don't have 2 separate opinions on this one. If you are only in it for achievements, or if you really like walking simulators, my verdict goes to wait for a sale, no doubt. The story's good. The gameplay, there's not much. It's a walking simulator. And other than experiencing each of the 3 endings, there's no replayability. Even at $10, if $10 is retail price, I'd hesitate to recommend it. And I just can't do that at $15. If it goes on sale for $7.50, I'd say jump on it. If it goes on sale for $5, absolutely jump on it. Again, for Gamerscore or just fans of walking simulators, it's definitely worth $7.50. 15's just too much. I feel like if the devs made it 10, they would have gotten some more sales, but their $15 price point, I feel like that hurt them in the long run. The game isn't bad. There's just not $15 worth of content to it. And I've played a fair bit of walking simulators, so I feel like I know what I'm talking about. I just don't think there's $15 worth of content. Price point aside, though, as an achievement game, it's a winner because it's quick and easy with a guide, like I said, most likely under an hour. But as a game to enjoy, it's somewhere in the middle in terms of the walking sim genre. I'd give it a 6 out of 10 because the story is cool. I really did like the story. But the setting is cliche. How many walking sims in space do we have? And just, quite frankly, there are a lot of games that do it better. But, man, if you don't want to wait for a sale, well, you're in luck, because here at Achievement Hunting 101, we happen to have a code for this game that we're giving away. How might you win this code? Well, the secret word is something that I've said in this review, and I think it would be pretty far out if you win. So good luck, and I will see you next time.
Woo! Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Wakapeil, and there are 2 free-to-play Battle Royale games who just received their achievement lists. I've yet to play Darwin Project, but I've spent 20 hours enjoying the April Fool's joke turned real game Cuisine Royale. This is a more arcadey take on PUBG using kitchenware as armor and World War II weaponry, for the most part. There are in-match loot boxes styled as fridges which might contain superior modern weapons. You can also find special equipment which for example can make you run faster, jump higher or regenerate health. There is also an exceptionally rare jetpack which I've only seen once in the 20 hours I've played Cuisine Royale. At the moment there are 2 maps, Normandy and Mexico, which are very different from each other, but I find both equally enjoyable. The graphics are serviceable, but can't compare to Apex Legends. Hiding and letting your opponents murder each other is a very effective strategy, but hiding in the outhouses is very risky as you can see through the boards and sometimes your weapons and equipment clips through the doors, floor and walls, allowing your opponents to spot you. Cuisine Royale is a third person by default, but a clever thing they added is that your camera is represented by a flying animal, which can give away your location if you are peeking around a corner or over a ditch.
I've found a single bathtub, but it is too small to hide in, but no one will find you there anyway, as it is in the attic of the big mansion, which very few even find. The controls are responsive, but most weapons are difficult to use, and every weapon has a unique iron sight, which gives every weapon a bit of a learning curve to use properly. You do go down really fast if you get hit by a spray of bullets, and the melee weapons are very deadly. At the moment there are 4 characters, of which 2 are free and the other 2 can be unlocked by completing daily challenges or outright purchased with real money. Each character has a special ability, such as Spirit Walk or briefly turning into an overpowered beast. There is also a magic system which uses souls, which you can earn by killing opponents and vandalizing their tombstones. The spells or rituals can be purchased in the workshop, which means players who have spent some money or time have a slight advantage against newer players. In practice, the only sort of broken magic I've seen is swarming the map with zombies, which is very effective against most players as they don't know how to deal with it or they run out of ammunition. At the moment, the player base instantly fills up the 40 slots of a match, and you likely load into a match in less than 30 seconds. The matches are filled up by bots if the player count is low, which are as good as the Realm Royale bots, which is to say not good at all, and usually a free kill unless you are reckless. My biggest non-achievement related gripe is the audio. The sound effects and music are fine, but the situational awareness is really difficult as it is hard to tell proximity. Gunfights can sound as if they are next door, but can be very far away, and chasing gunshots to find an opponent is usually not successful, as at least I have a hard time telling how far away the sounds are from you. The achievement list is unfortunately not achievement hunter friendly, as most of it is very luck based and requires a large amount of skill, either from you or from your team. Looking at the list, play for 100 hours should be the last achievement, but it is far from certain, as there are several achievements which might be troublesome, such as get 4 kills within 10 seconds, kill 3 players with grenades in one match, win 3 matches in a row, hitting enemies with 6 weapon types in the same match, and the incredibly luck-based loot 4 specific fridge types in the same match. All of the just mentioned achievements are significantly easier with a good 4-person squad, and they are boostable in theory, but at the moment the player base makes it difficult to match up in each other's game. I'm finding Casino Royale surprisingly fun, but it is in a league below the heavy hitters PUBG, Apex Legends, and the achievement hunter's favorite Realm Royale. In my opinion, the free-to-play mechanics are non-obtrusive, and I can see myself getting a season pass after finishing G-Tasked for some extra spells and clothing. Have a nice day, everyone.